Hello everyone and welcome. It's Tuesday, which means it's High Roller Super Millions time with Nanonoko and myself. I'm of course Kevin the kooi, also known as Rotterdam. And as you guys can see, we keep on improving the show. I'm really excited and happy to talk about all of it. But first up, Nano, how are you doing today on this mighty fine Tuesday evening for me, Wednesday morning for you?
I'm a little tired. I haven't slept yet. It's all good, and I was hungry, so I had to go get some. I made some instant noodles that tasted terrible because I didn't cook it long enough. Other than that, I'm great, Roddy.
All right, well, guys, it is time for week 7 of season 2 of our High Roller Super Millions, the weekly 10K that takes place over at GGPoker. The tournament always starts on a Sunday. They play down till the final 9, and on the Wednesday evening for Europeans and Wednesday morning for Nanonoko, we take a look at the final table. That will start in 40 minutes, but first, it's time for our pre-show, where we take a look at the 9 players that have made it to the final table and their odds, respectively, when it comes to final table betting. And Nanonoko, I heard that you went a little wild with your pick of the week, so I guess the floor is yours. Why Andres, mate? Did you see how many chippies he has?
Yeah, he look. They highlighted the wrong one. I did not pick Ninor. I picked Andres Nemeth, the right guy right under that. Okay, but Andres Nemeth, he hasn't reached our Super Millions final table before. He's been trying. He just hasn't done well in that in season 1, but he's done very well in other tournaments on GG and other sites. I know him from as a cash game player. Played high stakes, very good. Transitioned to MTTs like a lot of other guys, and it's a lot of success. He's very good. And the bottom I looked is you start with 20. He's got 27.5 big blinds. So for a short stack, that's pretty good to work with, right? But if you're a short stack coming with 10, 15, like sometimes it's just whatever the cards fell. But with 27.5, you still got some wiggle room to play despite being near the bottom.
I think we have a pretty fun lineup today. I think it's a nice mix between some of our all-time favorites, some of the guys that have made quite a few final tables, and the occasional wild card. And I think it's safe to say the wild card tonight, it has to be Nador, right? He is the pick of the week as well. But Nador, I feel like we can't possibly read Nador, and I don't think anyone on this table could possibly read Nador because you never know what he's gonna do.
Yeah, Nador is really a big wild card here. And honestly, these poker shares odds to win these final table betting, it's almost disrespectful to Nator because Nator comes in second place to this final table. But we look at final table betting. He's in 6th place here, plus 950. It's just massive disrespect. I mean, it's a lot of extra big blinds the guy's got, though. So it's quite tempting if you're into some wishful picking, I suppose.
I gotta say, this graphic looks really good. It looks so much better than before. We've got some music as well. I'm really feeling it. Let's talk about our chip leader, Marius Gierse. An insane amount of money has already been put down on him. I mean, some weeks our grand total of final table bets is around 24, 25k. $27,000, probably more at this point, have already been placed at Marius Gierse. He does have a nice lead over the rest of the field, but Nanonoko, are the people getting carried away, or is it a smart pick?
If we look at the average bet of these guys, it's quite high, right? Because only 54 bettors and 27,000. I'm gonna guess there's because Marius Garrison, he's a cash game player, if I recall correctly. I'm gonna assume other cash game guys just like, look, this guy's a chip leader. He's a sick no limit player, plays post flop well. Let's just all put like a couple $1,000s on this guy and boosted up that total bet. We've seen him before at final tables. I believe the last time we saw him, he was kind of like knitting it up, trying to get some pay jumps, maybe because it was one of those anniversary editions that was a big prize pool. But everyone is a different player when you're the chip leader. You know, you just go for it more. You know you can punish people, and you don't have to just kind of knit it up.
Last week, obviously, our chip leader delivered. It was Michael Adamo who came into the final table with an overwhelming lead. He was able to close it out, but it definitely wasn't smooth sailing all the way. At one point, he won 1 or 2 massive hands, and that kind of really set him off. But at one point, it started to look a bit dicey. I was shocked when I saw the number, and obviously it's not that many people, so we can only assume that indeed quite a few have placed relatively large bets. That obviously made the odds for some of the other guys a bit better. My pick of the week, as you guys can see, is Artur Martirosian. I know some of the poker elite makes fun of Artur sometimes on the Twitter universe, and they say Artur always gets aces. Even Artur memes about the fact that he always has aces, but I actually think that's a really good payout for Artur, like 6-1, almost 7-1. You're looking at a guy that has won the High Roller Super Millions before. You're looking at someone who has made our final table countless of times, like he's no stranger to it. 1.8 million chips. I honestly don't think you can go too wrong with putting a couple dollars in Artur.
Yeah, Archer is obviously a really solid pick. I believe last time we saw him, he was kind of just knitting it up really hard, though, and ended up with a top 4 or top 5 finish. Didn't play a single hand, got all the pay jumps, though. But today, maybe it's a little bit different. Maybe he's a little bit disappointed with his last performance. Obviously, coming in second place dictates things a lot, too. But I do like... I think it's a good pick as well. But I'm really interested in Thomas Muehloecker, right? Because we keep seeing this guy. But he keeps getting 9th place, 8th place, 7th place. But this time, he actually comes in with a much better stack. I don't think that's going to happen today. Maybe today's his day to finally win it. I don't know.
Yeah, there was one moment which was honestly quite sick, even though not all of them were High Roller Super Millions. But Thomas Muehloecker legitimately made a final table like 5 weeks in a row while we were here on the Tuesday. One of them was a smaller event, but it was still pretty impressive. The less impressive thing was that he often came in with 8 or 7 or 6 big blinds. One time he had 15 and he got it all in the first hand with, I don't know, it was 7s against 9s or something, right? It was a tinier pair against a bigger pair, or it was a flip that he lost. We are still waiting for that one big run of Thomas Muehloecker. I did put some money down on him, Nanonoko, today. Yeah, I know, I believe. I think that Thomas is very good. There was 1 week where he did play a bit longer, and I think you could really see that he is very good. But back then, he was truly playing to win it. He was not playing for the guaranteed top 4, which he could have played for. No, he was battling it out with the big stacks. And if he felt that his hand was better, he just went for it. Perhaps high variance style, but I do think that when you bet on Thomas, you know that you're betting on someone who's going to try to win it all.
Totally agree with that. But Roddy, the real question is, who you got bets on today?
I've got my biggest bet on Artur Martirosian. Just because I feel like Artur was the first guy that I picked to win in Season 1. I haven't picked a winner yet in Season 2. Artur makes it to the final table with a lot of big blinds. Some things are written in the stars. So I put 150 down on Artur, actually.
Wow.
I don't know.
150. Did you crush the tables this week?
I honestly did not. I got a little bit of rake. I did play quite a bit, so I had some rake back. I was like, you know what, let's just use the rake back for some final table betting. So made a decent bet on Artur, put some money on Thomas, and then I also put a little bit of money on Dvoress just because I knew that he was your pick of the week. And I was like, if I don't do it, I will never hear the end of it.
Well, you also do like Hungarian players, if I recall correctly. Was it Zagos that ended up winning from Hungary?
Yeah, well, we had 2 Hungarian winners already, but Zagos was one of them. And they actually played very good, the Hungarians. Anyway, guys, you have 2 minutes left if you want to throw a couple dollars down on one of these dudes. Oil Trader probably doesn't look very tempting. I am not familiar with the player, and he doesn't have a lot of big blinds. Everyone else, I mean, Daniel Dvoress, we know that Daniel is capable of winning a final table.
You just can't pick every single person, right? You got to choose wisely. I'll say this, if you do choose one of the guys who isn't real ID'd, you are getting extra value in terms of odds to win. Because, quite frankly, we don't know who they are, right? Because if you look at Oil Trader and Andres Nemeth, they got like the same stack, but the odds to win difference is so much different, right? You get extra +6, 600 there. So if you are a gambling type, you do like the odds, you want to pick one of those no-name guys. Otherwise, you want to pick one of those more solid picks, probably looking towards the top.
What can you tell me about Smilkovic? Well, we have 1 minute left. Should anyone bet on Smilkovic tonight? Because I'm not that familiar with him.
I am not either. He's actually the one name of all these guys I have literally no information. Nah, nothing. Might as well be non-real ID at this point. Oil Trader, I like everyone's Oil Trader. Bill Perkins, his name was Gas Trader, so maybe it's like a friend of his or something that's an oil trader. Who knows?
That's actually kind of funny. Anyway, guys, that is pretty much going to do it for our final table betting segment here in Week 7, Season 2. We had 140 entries this week. Top 15 got paid. We had a couple of our favorites, Joe Vieira, Nicholas Ostad, having deep runs. They tried Nano, but they fell short before the money bubble bursted. And these are the 9 guys that we ended up with. I'm actually excited for our pre-show today because we've got some wild hands. I don't know if you already gone over them, but we have a couple fun ones.
Yeah, I peeked at a couple of them. I think I know which ones you're talking about, but I'm just happy and excited to watch some poker again today. Sure, I'm a little bit tired, but I think this one's going to surprise me and wake me. Every season's been good. Every week has been good this season so far.
I know, it's really lame when the commentators say that about their own show, and then people are like, hey, how's it going? It's like, this season has been really good. Like, obviously, we are supposed to say that. It'd be very bad if we're like, oh, it's actually really boring. I don't know why we do this, but even when people on StarCraft ask me, like, hey, how's the poker thing going? I'm like, honestly, every final table in Season 2 has been very fun. I mean, last week we had Michael Adamo. I think it's impossible to have a boring final table when he comes in as a chip leader, but the weeks before, there was always something to take away. Been really impressed with a couple of the guys that won it up to this point, and I actually really want to see some of them back. We don't see our Hungarians. I'm still waiting for our Chess Grandmaster League to come back. I know that he tried again this week, but Otto Mar, I think it was. But yeah, it would be fun.
Yeah, it should be good. Obviously, right. Yeah, Michael Adamo coming back to Season 2 was great, but I'm ready to hear about some bad beats from you or something like that, Roddy.
I don't have a bad beat story for you. Obviously, guys, and now our final table betting segment is done. We've got 30 minutes until the actual live poker starts. We're going to take a look at all the profiles and talk about the players, but not before I always have a little friendly chitty chat with Nano. I don't have a bad beat story for you, Nano, but I've got a question, and I'm sure that I can maybe put this in a solver and figure it out what I'm supposed to do, but I didn't hate it, and I don't think you hate it either. The TLDR 210 Bounty Turbo started with 700, top 150 or something gets paid. There are 162 players left. It gets folded to me on the button. I've got King Jack offsuit. I have 21 bigs. Small blind has 13, big blind has 11, and they both have a big bounty. What should I do? 12 away from the money.
You should open. I think you should open rip it 100%. I don't think it's even close. I think every pro would do it too.
All right. Yeah, that's what I did. Got snap called by Ace-10 and lost Ace-10 of clubs.
Hey, I mean, but at least you didn't say he got kings or aces or something like that.
No, that's exactly what I did. And I was like, maybe I'm getting a bit too carried away and too inspired by Michael Adamo, like ripping it all the time. But I felt like 12 before the money, King Jack on the button. I was like, I think it's good enough. But I was obviously afraid that if I would get called, I lose more than 50% of my stack, and that does kind of suck, of course. But
yeah, it is what it is. But you got to keep in mind that their calling ranges should be tighter because they're close to the money. So, like, hands that might call you anyways, they're not going to call anymore. And plus, you have the extra value of if they do call, like a hand, even like Ace-10, you can hit a bounty, and you know it's a win-win situation to me.
Yeah, unfortunately it wasn't even a sweat, you know, like at least let it be a dry board so I have hope till the river, but the flop was literally like ace deuce deuce or something, and I'm like, come on, like this isn't even fun like this, you know. Let him hit the 10, but at least let me pray. But yeah, no, that's it. I played a little bit of them, played a couple of tournaments. I know that the 200 flip and go tournament took place, and I actually watched a couple of people stream it, and some people were like, wow, we won the first round. All right, that's a good start. I'm like, it's not a good start. Now you're there. Like, it's over. Everyone has the same stack. The moment you win your table, you put 200 down. And into the money was immediately like 1,800 or something. So it was a pretty sick event. A lot of fun things have been taking place. Anyways, it's time for us to take a look at the profiles of these 9 guys that have made it to our final table here in Week 7. And let's kick things off with our chip leader, Nanonoko. What can you tell the people at home about the beautiful Marius Giersen?
I mean, he's a cash game player, and when I say cash game, I'm not talking about some $2, $5 game. This guy plays high, right? He plays 25, 50 plus probably. He's just an all-around good player. If we look at his GG tournament results, they're pretty good too. He's got some WSOP side event wins, 25K. Like he's done well on this site, and he's going to continue to do well as the chip leader here today.
I love how you can look at a profile and it's like first place 10k high roller, third place 10k high roller. It's like he's done well. I think he's done amazing, mate. If this is doing well, I wouldn't see the guys that do amazing. I guess then you're talking about Nicholas and Michael Adamo, but this, to me, this qualifies as amazing. And let's see what Marius Gies is made of. We've seen him at a final table a couple times, and he wasn't really able to make like a stunning impression on us, but his hands were tight. Today, I think we'll see a completely different Marius as he comes in as a chip leader. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of the hands that Marius Gies had on his journey to the final table. And what really stood out to me here in Nanonoko is the check raise on the flop. And I actually kind of like it. Do you like it?
Yeah, let's see, what kind of stack are they playing with? 20 big blinds roughly? I do like it, with like, people just don't think you got it a lot of times, and it's a spot where you want to check raise bluff, especially from the big blind. You can get max value when you check raise. When you check call, and say you check call again on the turn, a lot of times your opponent, even if they have a hand like as strong as nines, might be like side check, I don't want to get trapped. So by check raising, you give yourself the opportunity to win the maximum pretty much.
Yep, I really like it. And also I feel like it can kind of give away that maybe you have a 6, or if you had 7-5 or 9-7, you could make similar moves too, right? And ace king just rips it all in. Well, that's less than 1% chance, I believe, to still win that one. I actually really like the check raise, because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, when you flop so big, you have to play it slow. But playing it like this actually makes it seem like you don't have the 8. And then you get max value indeed. So I was a fan. I'm happy to hear that you were a fan too. I don't think Chris Rudolph was a fan, but you can't have it all, Chris. There is always big 8 in Season 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at the man who's chasing him. And I think it's safe to say this is one of our favorites. Nator, a high roller regular. He's back, Nano.
He actually has 2 third place finishes already. It's pretty good. I remember one of those, he was chip leader and then something happened. But sometimes he plays tight, but then sometimes he just plays the most ridiculous hands. And I think when we look at this hand history coming up in a second, we're going to agree with this is ridiculous.
This is one of the hands that I really wanted to talk about. As you guys can see, pretty beautiful profile by Nader, and even though he's not a real ID player, I have a hard time believing that he's not at least somewhat serious about poker. Otherwise, how the hell do you keep playing these tournaments, and how do you have so many decent runs as well? Because it's his 5th final table already. That's something to be quite proud of. But let's just go ahead and take a look at one of the more ridiculous hands we have ever covered in our pre-show. We're familiar with the Ben CB powerhouse, the King 6 suited, but Nanonoko, this is just a casual 24. No, what is this? Oh my god, this is 48 big blinds that he just rips all in. What the hell is happening here?
This is 48 big blinds. That's a lot, right? Because he min raises, gets 3-bet by the big blind, and he jams in King 7. I think most guys don't jam this in. I guess technically speaking, the King 7 suit is a decent hand to 4-bet jam if it's a bluff. You know, like with the 7, you know, it's not like your opponent's gonna. What I want to say is the 7 unblocks the calling range of the 3-better in the big blind. What that means is the big blind with 3-bet hands, say like Jack 10 and stuff like that, you don't block those hands that will fold to the shove. Regardless, though, I'm not a fan of it, but if you're going to go gangsta, at least have the King X suited or the Ace X suited, in my opinion.
Do you think that from here on out, the King 7 suited is a Nator powerhouse?
It's a Nator powerhouse, but I definitely tell you this is not going to rub off onto other players jamming King 7 suited into.
It's such a big jam as well. Honestly, a wild play. But Nator got rewarded. He just drilled the king immediately, and then things look kind of dire for the Ray guy. This is not the last we'll see of the Ray guy either. By the way, there's Zagos, our previous champ.
Yeah, he's got 18,000 chips. Let's not talk about him anymore.
I mean, he had a okay. Hey, well, what do you mean? 1.8 big blind, not good? All right, moving on. We are very happy to have Nator back, and I promise you guys that he's gonna give us some fireworks tonight, because that is just what Nator does. Coming in third to this final table is one of our, I guess, just regulars at this point of Season 1. I think this is the first time he makes it into a final table of Season 2, right? I don't think he's made a final table in Season 2. As you guys can see, he did incredibly well in the first season, ranked 8 overall, 1.7 million in winnings. Artur plays everything all the time. I actually really want to know, Nano, instead of talking about how good Artur is, can you talk to me, how would a day in the life of Artur look if he doesn't play poker? What does Artur do?
No, it's that day doesn't exist. Literally 365 days of the year. He's logging into GG and playing some. You don't get 16 million earnings on GGPoker if you don't play every single day. Also, Artur played like probably from day one of GG. This guy's been on there before all these other regs start coming along. And he's played every single 25k and lower. Literally every tournament that's possible. He's just a beast.
Mate, he's playing the 105 Speed Racer. I'm pretty sure there's nothing else going on. Artur is always there. I gotta say, I think of Patrick Leonard, where it's like hashtag never miss a Sunday. For Artur, it's just like never miss a day. Like he's there every single day, going live, firing up a bunch of tournaments, and see if he can make some magic happen. And it's safe to say this time on Sunday he did. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of the hands that helped Artur to another final table in our high roller super millions. And I know this one kind of stood out to me as well, where I'm like, I wonder if that's completely standard or not. What do you make of the way that Artur played his ace-9 with that 9 rolling off on the turn?
I wouldn't say exactly the standard, but because you usually don't really see these kind of check around in turn raises. But when I'm looking at it, I do like the raise. They are going 3 ways to the flop and turn. And you can push out Nator in case he's got a decent draw. And also, like, it's hard for ace-9 not to be the best hand here. And the stack sizes they're playing is about 20 big blinds effective. It's okay if you just go broke on this hand with top pair, top kicker. You know, like, you wouldn't want to be going broke for like 40 big blinds plus. So as played, I do like it. And I do think he's probably got the best hand too.
Well, since everybody else folded, I think that you're correct in that one.
True.
But yeah, pretty adventurous by Artur. I gotta say, I really like the way that Artur plays poker, because it's impossible to summon him up. I don't think Artur is tight. I don't think he's super YOLO either. I also think that he will defend if he genuinely believes he's good. He doesn't quit early. He's willing to make a hero call, and he's willing to make a hero bluff. I really feel that Artur is kind of... I mean, the complete package is maybe a little much, but I do think he can do it all.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you, because we've seen him play pretty hyper aggressive, I think, than the one he won in the beginning. And then we've seen times where he's knitted it up and went for the pay jumps because of ICM. A very well-rounded player, and that's seriously one of the... It's a tough one to play against because you don't know what page he's on, right? But when you're playing against Michael Adamo, he literally only has 1 gear. He cannot play tight. It's not a choice. So, you know, maybe you adjust your game to play him perfectly, but against... Not perfectly, but, you know... It's just saying it's trickier of Artur because he can play many different styles.
Well, I'm definitely happy to see Artur back, and I'm looking forward to watching him play some poker tonight. Hopefully he takes it down, because I need to get a champ on the board, and B, it'd be nice to win my very first final table betting of the High Roller Super Million Season 2. I guess maybe I should just go back to betting on chip leaders, because they've been doing pretty well so far. Anyways, moving on. Next up, we're going to talk about the beautiful profile of Thomas Muehloecker. This man... no, not Thomas Muehloecker. Sorry, guys. I skipped one. Smilikovic actually has a few more chips than Thomas Muehloecker. Apparently satellited his way into this event. He did win a WSOP live main event package. I tried those, the Road to Vegas. I tried one for $80. Lost ace queen against ace 5. There's your bad beat story, Nanonoko. No Vegas for Roddy this year. But yeah, welcome Smilikovic, his very first final table to the High Roller Super Millions.
Yep. Based on his GGPoker results, I'm going to assume he doesn't normally play, and probably wouldn't have played if he hadn't satellited in. Because, you know, we're posting his $150 GG Master win. We're showing his GGSF $400 scores, you know, stuff like this. So probably like a mid-stakes type of player, and you know, he's looking for some pay jumps today, but you never know. Sometimes I say this about people, and they just played the craziest styles ever. So, good luck to this guy. And you said his last name pretty good, like Smooth. I don't even know how you said it, but it sounded smooth.
Well, I mean, I watch a lot of football, and the Serbian names are not the hardest, but I might mess it up a little bit, but I think the J is somewhat silent. It is probably pretty sick that he normally plays like smaller events, 400s, 150, maybe a 1K, but he did qualify apparently due to the High Roller Super Millions of the GG Spring Series Festival, and he actually had one hell of a run, man. Top 16, winning $89,000. That's quite sick if you ask me.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with all that. Yeah, no, I don't remember what his hand history though. I'm a little excited. Is he good?
Let's go ahead and take a look at one of the hands. I think this is the one with the Ray guy. Yes. Well, yes, actually, this one. A7 versus King Queen. Nanonoko, talk us through and tell me, how did he get paid off on the river?
Yeah, the demise of the Ray guy is going to be the hand histories out throughout tonight. But in this hand, he opens A7 suit. He gets 3-bet very tiny to 5 big blinds. And some people, they fold to these small big blind, small 3-bets. But you know, like if you fold everything to these tiny 3-bets, then it's just so profitable to 3-bet you. So he calls with the A7 suit out of position, actually with the best hand. Check calls the ace, gets to the river, and I like that he bets the quarter pot on the river because, well, if his opponent has an ace, they're dropping anyways. It's unlikely his opponent has a jack to bet the flop and check the turn. It does seem like his opponent maybe has got a queens or kings or some king highs here and there, and he got paid off. Well done. Perfect sizing.
You think the Ray guy put Schmilkovic maybe on a smaller pocket that got counterfeited, or what did he, maybe the same hand, like King Queen as well, something like that?
Probably not King Queen, because technically King Queen's got some decent showdown value. I guess technically he just saw the quarter pot bet and was like, well, if he's got a pocket pair like 8s and lower, some percentage of the time that I should be making this call. I don't think his opponent would put him on 10s. Yeah, I'm gonna guess it has to be that, but when you think about it, a lot of these hands would probably just 4-bet jam pre-flop too, or just fold, so maybe it was a little bit of a spew call of the king high, but it was a good bet sizing to get the king high to end up calling.
All right, welcome Smokovic to our final table. Looking forward to seeing you play some cards tonight, my friend. Wishing you all the best. Next up is actually the profile of Thomas Muehloecker, the man who at one point made like 5 final tables in a row. As you guys can see, it says here that he has 3 final tables, but we really did cover him like 4 or 5 weeks in a row. But they were slightly different events. We had some special events happening, etc., etc. Apparently has played in all 7 editions so far of the High Roller Super Millions in Season 2. Seems like he is turning a little bit of a profit, but he's still waiting for that one big score on the Tuesday evening.
This is the first time he's coming in 5th position, I'll tell you that, right? Because every other time it's been lower. So maybe today he's going to do... It has to be today, right? Because you can't just keep getting 7th, 9th, 6th, and I guess he's missing the 8th place, but you just can't do it. Otherwise, you just stop playing.
Don't jinx him. Do not tell him that he needs to collect an 8th place. Let's not go there. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at one of the hands that Thomas Muehloecker had on his journey to making it to this final table. And this hand, Nanonoko, it truly made my jaw drop. I'm like, is Juan Dominguez suffering from the I want to win this hand syndrome, or what the hell is going on over here?
He's definitely suffering from that syndrome. He's got the 3 of spade blocker. You know, I got to block those flushes, right? The 10 doesn't do anything. Really, this is I want to win, because Thomas Muehloecker, he bet a third of the pot on the turn, got raised, ended up calling. He makes the 2 pair. It's an overbet shove on the river, right? With the 10-3 offsuit. I mean, Juan Dominguez, he's very versatile. He's pretty aggressive, and sometimes he's calm. But there are times we've seen him at our final table where he just makes some YOLO plays, and this kind of seems like one of those YOLO plays that just did not work out. So good job, Thomas Muehloecker.
I honestly feel that Juan Dominguez played his hand like he had pocket 4s. That's, if you look at it, he just calls the flop, check raises the turn, bombs the river. I'm like, if he had 4s, I would believe it. He had 10-3. I know that we often say, like, once you see the backdoors, you can't unsee them, but I don't know if the 3 of spades is really going to give him the best backdoors in history, Nano. Like, why? Why is he even calling on the flop? Why can't he just let it go?
Yeah, I just noticed he called on the flop, right? Because usually I thought he would got checked to, but nah, Yeah, he's got some runner straight outs, flush outs. 10. I don't know, man. Like sometimes you just gotta fold. Let's just not needle Juan Dominguez anymore. We gotta move on.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have 11 minutes until our show starts. I just think this is such a bizarre hand, and we're obviously not needling him. I think we both are in full agreement that Juan Dominguez is awesome. But you look at this hand, and you just wonder. You look into the mirror. When you lay in bed at night, you look at the ceiling, and you ask yourself, why? Why did our tournament have to end in this hand? Like, imagine sharing this story with your friends then. And they're like, oh, how did the High Roll Super Millions go? It's like, yeah, I busted, had a decent start, but eventually I got up to 1.2. Like, 1.2 million chips is almost enough to make it to the final table. Like, that's more than a lot of these guys carry into the final table tonight. That is a big stack, Nano. And it disappeared with 10-3 offset.
Like, this has to be final two tables or less than final two tables, close to the... it has to be close because they're only playing six-handed here, right? Like, this is really close to the final table, and then you're just like, you know what? I can't make it to the final table, so let's just punt it off. Goodbye. See ya.
Do you think that Thomas Muehloecker had a decision on the river? I gotta say that's still a little bit scary. This close to the final table, but you've got top two pair, you've got the king of spades. Is this an easy call, or is it a I have to call, but I'm kind of afraid?
Basically, definitely the second one. I have to call, but I am afraid. He probably thought about it a little bit, but just was like, there's no way I'm folding this hand, especially against this opponent. I would say he's up against a flush or nothing, pretty much always. I don't think a worse two pair would overbet jam the way this run out has come out. So yeah, but I do think he's got a call, especially with the king of spades. That helps a decent amount. You block some flushes that would go for this big sizing. So good call. But I think Thomas, I'm just curious how long he actually took. I don't think he used that much time, to be honest. Maybe like 15 seconds max.
I can actually take a look at that as we can go ahead and take a look at the big profile of Nihor. I don't know if it's a big profile, but we have never seen him at the final table before, I believe. Indeed. He won a WSOP main event seat 2021. Congrats to him. Good luck, mate, in the main event. His second High Roller Super Million appearance, apparently in Season 2. Has not made it into the money yet. Has not made it into the money in Season 1 either. I don't know how many times he tried. Safe to say that he is not a regular to the 10Ks, Nanonoko.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. But he is from Austria, and Austria just breeds good poker players. But, you know, maybe he's not in his prime yet. He's still, like, you know, beating up the $500 people. But he's moving up, and he's here in the 10K. Time to make his time shine.
I'm just taking a look at the hand history right now between Thomas Muehloecker and Juan Dominguez. According to this hand replayer, which I believe is quite accurate, Juan Dominguez took quite some time to bet, and Thomas called a lot quicker than Juan Dominguez took to put all those chips to the middle. So wasn't maybe like the super snap call, but it was kind of quick. Anyway, welcome Nihor. We have not seen, or Ninor. No, there's no H there. Ninor. I mean, the Austrian and German names, they do get me sometimes. Pretty sick, by the way, winning. He also won the WSOP Road to Vegas, but he won the 1K, so I guess that's a few less players entering that one, or maybe there were more seats up for grabs. And this is really cool. That's still happening. You guys too at home can qualify for the WSOP main event for as little as, I believe, $8, because there's an $8 satellite into the $80 qualifier satellite, call it how you want it, where at least one seat is up for grabs, and sometimes even more. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of the hands that Ninor had on his journey to his very first final table. And that is a turn from heaven, isn't it, Nano?
It is a very, very good turn. My favorite part is Limitless showing the 6 for no reason. Just showing, you know, I won it out. Well, I guess it's a good reason, because he got one outed, didn't he? Because the guy had top pair, top kicker.
Yes, that is absolutely a solid reason. Now, I don't know if you're any happier if you're Muslock and you see that Limitless had the 6 of hearts. I was like, He didn't even just get a little lucky. He got ultra lucky. Yeah, I think the hand kind of speaks for itself, right? Do you think that Muehloecker could have done anything else, or is this very similar to the hand that we saw earlier with Artur, where it's like, well, if you go somewhat broke, you go somewhat broke. It's just the way you're supposed to play the hand.
Yeah, let's see. If you're flat calling ace-9 suited in position, you flop top pair, top kicker, your opponent bets. This is as I don't want. Yeah, it's standard at this point. There's nothing you can do. Just don't get one outed next time.
Stop getting one at it. Alrighty, moving on. Let's take a look at the beautiful profile of Daniel Dvoress. What rank is he in Season 1? Actually, only rank 17. I thought it was a bit higher than that, because Daniel Dvoress, it just feels like he is crushing left, right, and center. He did win the Millionaire Maker in 2020. I mean, that's a ridiculous achievement, because that is a very hard tournament to win. There are so many day one flights happening for that one. Other than that, it is his 6th time playing in Season 2. He has won $61,000 so far, so I guess he kind of needs a decent score today to make sure that he's in Profitville for Season 2. And I'll be honest with you, Nano, I'm not too worried about Daniel Dvoress turning a profit. If it's not this week, it will be eventually.
He's turning a profit in the long run every single time. And when we look at his career highlights, like, how do you have a $4 million score? That's very hard to get in general. And he's got multiple 1 million. Obviously, the Millionaire Maker 1.5 million was a tough one to win. Well, maybe not tough for him, but you know, it's just a big field size out there. But he's a great player. I feel like he should have won another one of these Super Millions, but he got like coolered super hard as one of the chip leader. I think maybe the 5th place finish.
You know, whenever we take a look at Daniel Dvoress' profile, I always see Laura Cornelius, I believe is her name. And I'm like, hey, she interviewed me too one day. It's a long time ago, Nana. What was a poker event in Glasgow where I had a little interview with Laura. That is arguably my greatest achievement in poker. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at one of the hands that Daniel Dvoress had that did not really help him, because Daniel, just like Juan Dominguez, also suffers from the I want to win this hand syndrome.
Yeah, this guy's got the, is it the nut low? No, almost the nut low, but pretty much. Deuce 5 offsuit, raises a limp, bets the flop, bets the turn, bets the river, all in. I mean, does Thomas Muehloecker just love these blind versus blind spots when the big blind is just so stupid? I don't know, is that the right word to use, stupid? Because they're just punting hard against them.
Stubborn, maybe. Stupid, not necessarily. But yeah. I mean, this is the sickest ever as well. Daniel Dvoress tries to just raise pre-flop because he wants to take it down. His hand is so bad. Gets called, looks at that flop. He's like, well, I can represent that. But Thomas Muehloecker just flops the nuts. On the turn, he still has the nuts. And on the river, obviously, he's never folding anyway. Broadway is still pretty damn good. That was a lovely little donation from Daniel to Thomas. Let's see if Thomas wants to give a donation back tonight or if he's going to run away with it. We've got 2 more profiles to cover and 3 minutes until we start talking about live poker. That's why you guys are here. That's why I'm here. Hey, that dude on the top left, SC player. I see him often. He actually plays some Omaha too. He's crazy.
He must play
All right,
StarCraft.
let's take a look. That's what I always think, but I could be totally wrong. But I always read it as StarCraft player, yes. So here is your pick of the week. Talk to me, Nanonoko. Why Dvoress? Why?
It says online MTT crusher, but really he's an online cash game crusher turned into online MTT crusher. He did poorly in Season 1 of Super Millions, but that's okay because Season 2 is a new season. His first final table here. Would love to see him do great. He's just, seriously, he's good. Like a lot of cash game guys, they try to MTTs because they know there's good value there, but they don't do as well. But this guy actually has transitioned very well, and he's got some pretty big scores. You're going to love him, seriously. And he's from Hungary.
I've played a lot with him. He plays a lot of Omaha, mate.
Yes, he plays both, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. He plays a lot of Omaha. I've seen him more than once on my table, and I always run away because I know what's happening there. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of the hands that Dvoress had on his journey to his first final table of Season 2. That is a river he really can't complain about. Was there a better river in the deck than Nanonoko? I think the answer is no.
Literally no. And he got maximum value here, right? He does a 1.5x overbet on the river, gets called. Ramiro just cannot fold. When you got those crazy images, man, you get some extra value that you shouldn't get normally. So really well done here.
It's pretty disgusting if you're Ramiro. You see that river, you're like, pretty good. Like, I already thought I was good, but now I'm definitely good. Then your opponent overbets pot into you, and you're like, I guess we're just calling. I don't like it very much anymore, but there's obviously not much that Ramiro can do there either with aces up. Means we have one more profile to cover before we can take a look at the seat selection and we can pick our winners. Our shortest stack coming into this final table is Oil Trader. Apparently satellited his way into the event. Does have a couple of good scores though on the right. Well done, WSOP Series 10k High Roller. The man knows what it takes apparently to win a 10k over a GG. I guarantee you guys that not everyone does. So I guess Oil Trader is not going to be a pushover. Season 1 wasn't all that great for him. Let's see if Season 2 goes better. We can take a look at one of the hands he had, where he was actually battling it out with our champ of... That is the wrong hand history. But that's okay. We can just go ahead and take a look at the seat selection if you don't have it. The hand that we did have of Oil Trader was where he was battling it out with Ottomar Latva. And he had an open-ended straight draw with a flush draw against Ottomar's top 2 pair. It went all in on the flop, and he turned a straight.
Well, let's pick our winners, Roddy. Let's go.
I know I messed up last week. I actually thought about it. I really messed up last week. I had first pick. I could have picked Michael Adamo. I should have picked Michael Adamo. I let you get Michael Adamo, and you won again. So you have first pick this week.
I do get first pick. I've picked 2 winners. But whew, man, who do I want to pick? I feel like I just can't take your guy Artur Martirosian. It would just be brutal. And I do like Andres Nemeth, but something is crying out to me that I want Thomas Muehloecker today. He keeps getting 9th, 7th, 8th, 6th, and stuff like that. I'm picking Thomas. It's his time to shine. Today, he will finally get the #1 spot. Who's your pick, Roddy?
Oh my god, they're spamming so many emotes. We're getting emotes left and right. Well, I could go for Marius. I don't think Marius would be a bad pick, but I'm really going to go for Artur. Artur was my savior in dark days in Season 1, but I couldn't pick a winner for the life of me. I believe that Artur is going to be my savior in Season 2, and I believe that my Russian Bratan, which is Russian for brother, Nanonoko, today you've learned, is going to take it down.
Bratan. All right, I like it. Well, here we go. First hand dealt. In this final table, we actually don't have a clean short stack. You know how like we usually get someone with like 10 big blinds or 15 big blinds. Today, around 27 big blinds for our shortest stack. So I think it's going to be a bit of a grind. We'll see.
Obviously, this is a 1.5 million guaranteed this week, as Artur is going to limp with ace-5 offsuit from the small blind. Actually, I think I already love this setup, by the way. Artur and Nator next to each other. Oh, Nanonoko, that's going to give us some entertainment tonight. But yeah, there was a little bit of an overlay. I believe 140 entries in total, so almost 100k overlay. That means that these guys are playing for even a little bit more than they normally would have. 325k for first tonight. It's pretty good.
Yeah, they get the extra value here. Let's take a look at seat selection here now that you see it. Whose seat do you like or the most out of it?
I think I kind of like Daniel Dvoress' seat, to be honest. I think I like where Daniel's at.
Daniel does have, yeah, he's kind of like away from all of the big players, right, in this spot. And he's got like 2 unknown players behind him. Yeah, I like it. I think he's going to get a lot of more button opens. I do like Thomas Muehloecker's seat, though. It is my pick. He's got position on the chip leader, position on the guy who I've been hyping up, Andres Nemeth, right? But the only problem is he's got Dvoress in his big blind when he's on the button. But it's a decent spot, in my opinion.
As Daniel Dvoress is going to open King 9 suited. We've got an ace-queen of our short stack. Artur snap folds his ace-queen offsuit. Would have probably been a chop if he would have called. Daniel's obviously not calling here. No. Obviously, we are trying to step up our game. We've got new graphics. We've got actually new software that we're using as well. I'm surprised that you haven't said anything yet. Obviously, I'm not using a green screen today. That is something that we are going to work on. But I'm surprised you haven't said anything about my beautiful figurines. What's happening?
Oh right. No, I mean I saw it earlier. I do like how you positioned it so that it's definitely in view. Is this your normal like stream setup too? Because it's really
Yeah,
nice. I like that you got some special coloring too. You got red on the bottom, blue on top. You got a battle cruiser and a god damn, what is that thing called?
a
A
carrier.
corsair? Oh, close.
Carrier, mate. Yeah.
But no, I'm sorry about that. But I do think they're really nice.
All right. I was waiting. I was waiting for it. I was like, no, you've been talking about them when they weren't on stream. Now they are on stream, as I'm using a different camera as well. Normally we just use the Logitech. As Nator takes one down with his jacks there, that's obviously it's got to feel good for him. Oh, your guy's got aces. Doesn't seem like anyone else
Woohoo.
really has a whole lot. Daniel does open King Queen. Oil trader, I know you're the shortest stack, but you don't have to get too wild with the deuces here, and he doesn't.
Oh, don't forget, we got one of our pocket fives versus pocket fours things going on. I think you're still up on me by one, right?
Yes,
Today,
literally 1-0.
we will hit a set. We will hit the set. We will.
Well, speaking of that, that is something that people were able to vote on a couple of times at YouTube. Did you see the ridiculous poll they made today in our community tab? Did you see it over at GG?
Which comment? Well, wait, hold on. Well, we'll get to that in a second because Andres Nemeth, I expect him to actually three bet the
Oh,
two aces, has just called because Daniel probably would have folded to a three bet. And look at this flop. This is messed
trouble.
up. This is not fair.
Th- This is serious trouble for Daniel Dvoress at this point, unless he can somehow improve or something rolls up that he's very afraid of. But at this point, I don't see how Daniel thinks that he's got the worst hand. I mean, you open King Queen, you flop top pair. I mean, it's pretty good, right?
Yeah, and like you're gonna expect Ace
Hmm.
King to three bet you. You're gonna expect Pocket Nines to probably three bet jam. The 10 looks a little scary, but does Daniel Divorce really think Andres Nemes is flat in a small blind with like 10-9 suited and 8-9 suited?
Queen Jack.
Mom,
Like he has a queen himself. Does check back. Let's see what Andres does on the river.
yeah. I think Andres Nemeth should just go for like, well, he
Wow.
checks. I'm surprised he checks here. Very, very interesting. Can Daniel? Wow, Daniel
Oh!
checks King Queen. How did he know? How?
He lost the absolute minimum there. One bet on the flop. Check the turn, check the river. As he has pocket fours, the following hand under the gun, he's gonna let go. Thomas Muehloecker does have ace queen in this one. Honestly,
Sick.
pretty sick. I do wonder how that hand plays out if the turn is not a 10. If the turn is a deuce or a 3 or a 4 rainbow, I do think he loses more chips.
I do think so. I think Andres Nemeth should, if he had bet that river, I don't think Daniel would have folded the King Queen just because he could be up against like the same or a similar type hand. But I think Daniel must have been very suspicious of the 20 something big blind, small blind flat because I don't really see any other reason for him to not value bet at some point on the turn or river. Wow, it's just he was suspicious, and when he saw the two aces, he just patted himself on the back.
Oh,
And look at this, Jack 10
well.
on Jack 10 action.
Thomas Muehloecker definitely not the guy to ever get away with ace queen here, though, because he's not going to take Marius Gies's opening that serious, I think. He might be slightly more concerned about the raise of Andres Nemeth, but wow, he
He
lets
does let it
go. Oh
go.
my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. Well, they're pretty deep. You can tell he didn't like it though, right? Because he's like, God, I can't fold this. Let's see what Marius does with Jack 10 suited because this hand's not over yet. Most people don't fold Jack 10 suited to three bets.
I mean, he obviously did just see the hand where Andres Nemeth smooth called with aces. So if we're smooth
Well,
calling
maybe that.
aces, what are we three betting with?
Yeah, exactly,
Oh
right?
my god.
Nice play! Jack 10 suit. That is a sick play. And maybe it's because he saw those two aces. Well done.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Thomas Muehloecker is going to look back at this and he's going to be pretty tilted, especially because they both had Jack 10. Makes it so much less likely for him to ever lose there with ace queen. I love
But
the avatar of
when he saw the action,
Ninor, by
though,
the
I'll
way.
tell you. Well, I'll see that in this. Oh, what
Yeah.
is that, baby, and with a trophy or something?
Yeah, it's the UFC belt. It's like two little kids that have been doing
uh,
press conferences and stuff, and they're smack talking and they're hyping it up, and then it's getting millions of views. But yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say that Thomas probably felt pretty good about folding the ace queen because he saw the all in action, right? Like, oh well, Marius
Yeah.
definitely had me beat. But then when he looks back 30 minutes later, he's like, "Are you kidding me?"
Second ace queen fold, both of them were not necessarily correct. Artur folded ace queen against ace queen, even though the other ace queen was suited, but that would have probably been a chop. And this ace queen would have gotten it in very, very good, even though it would have never gone all in the first place. But just seeing a flop would have probably been pretty damn nice. Let's see what Smilkovic does with ace king on the button, and he just calls Nanonoko.
Yeah, these guys are playing maybe because we're playing full ring because no one's clearly short. People are just playing slow. But as played, it is going to get him the most value, I assume. Well, but Archer doesn't even fire at ace 10.
Nope. Not a great flop for Artur. There are some backdoors, but that's about it. Let's talk about this ridiculous poll over at the community tab,
Yes.
GGPoker, the YouTube channel. Who's your favorite Super Millions commentator? Why? And then they made a little boxing avatar for both of us. What the hell is happening, mate?
Brutal. I know, like it's just I did retweet. I was like, please pick me because I don't want to lose to you. But when I checked it, you were winning the poll. I haven't checked it since. Have you checked it yet?
Yeah, I have it open right now. I am winning a little bit, but I didn't retweet it, but that's because I don't use Twitter that much. I could maybe do that later. If I like start losing real badly, I'll do that. I just put it in my Discord though. I have a relatively big Discord, not like insanely big, but there's plenty of people there. I'm like, hey guys, please get a couple votes in for me. I don't want to get owned too bad, but yeah, they've been doing well. So shout out to the Discord channel.
No, because I saw I was down. I was like, no, it's not happening. Retweet it immediately, right?
If you start running away with it, it's actually a real shame that they put it up today because on the Monday night, as Smokovic does win this one with ace king, obviously Artur didn't have a lot of things going for himself there. Uh, on the Monday night, I always commentate this StarCraft 2 tournament on my own channel, and it does pretty well. Like I get decent amount of viewers for it. If I would have known it yesterday, Nanonoko, oh boy, it'd be 85% for Roddy at this point. So I think you can be very grateful to the guys for putting that poll up today.
I know they saved me there. Yeah, but when I read it, right, I was just like in shock. I was like, what kind of poll is this? But I'll take it.
Uh-oh.
Wow, ace 8 3. This is a huge 3-bet jam, isn't it? Like 22 bigs.
I don't know if I want to fold ace jack suited here, Nanonoko. I think I'll close my eyes and press the call button, man.
Yeah, so I think right now what Daniel Dvoress is thinking is this guy like one of those satellite players who doesn't normally play this big and is just trying to like preserve his stack, or like he's only got big hands. I don't know the answer to that question, but
Yeah.
man, this
It's
is
like
tough.
ICM
You're
wise,
suited
I
too.
guess you're supposed to fold, right? But I think if you want to win the tournament, if you're playing to win, oh, I fold. My
Fold it.
goodness. Nino dodging bullets here. Sick play with ace 8 offsuit. Wow, that's a gangster play right there, Nano.
Super gangster. But man, if you're getting your opponents to fold ace jack suited there, you're printing so many chips there. Nicely played. Like everyone else has been playing cautious, but Ninor here is just like, nah, I'm all in. Ace 8 offsuit.
You know, I really wonder, right? If this tournament would not stop on the Sunday night, but they would have just kept playing. It would have been a 5-minute break, final table. I wonder if Daniel Dvoress folds too. Because I really have the feeling that, like, I mean, once you wait a day and a half, it really sucks to be out in 14 minutes. You know, you let your friends know. It's like, hey, wow, nice flop for Artur, by the way. But, like, you kind of live, you think about it, you take a look at the lineup, you prepare yourself the best way you possibly can. It sucks to go out 14 minutes in. But I feel like if this would have happened on the Sunday night, I think Daniel would have called.
That's a good point. I do think that applies to a decent amount of people out there.
Oh,
That's not the turn Artur was looking for, but I guess he wasn't going to get much action against the Queen Jack anyways. But I do kind of agree with you. I'm not sure if it applies to Daniel Dvoress as much because some of the sickos they always kind of make the best play they can at all times. Like
Yeah.
Thomas, he doesn't go by that rule by like he's like I'll play one hand if I wait a day and it's okay with me and I'm out. But it does apply to some people for sure. Even some good players out there. I'm like maybe not the best, but like some solid players.
No, I do think you're right, but yeah, maybe it's just a little bit too much. It is over 20 big blinds.
We dropped that
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 big blinds. I don't think he'd be folding, but like,
No.
yeah, I don't know.
No way. Like
Tough.
for 15, if once you have 15, 16, there's no way you fold ace jack suited there. Pretty sick play by Ninor though. That's not what I expected from him tonight. That's pretty sick.
That's what I like to see, though, right? Because always these unknown name, real name ID players, they either are so tight or they're so crazy. And right now, he's starting to feel crazy to me. He's from Austria.
He did win a 10K, right? That was Ninor. What's that? Ninor's profile? We
I
took a
don't
look at it
remember.
in the pre-show. One of them.
I'm
I
not
don't think it
sure.
was Smilkovic. I'm pretty sure it was Ninor. Or was it Oil Trader? Probably Oil Trader.
Oil trader.
Too many
It
profiles.
was oil trader.
Yeah. Oh, Artur's got
Kings.
kings, baby. But everybody else got nothing. This is what I want to see, though. Artur just got kings and aces all night long. That's when he does his best work. And I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, you said you put $150 down. It's a lot.
It's a little bit of rakeback,
YOLO.
Nana. The rakebacks is actually quite nice. Poor Artur. Not even Nator getting out of line with his Jack 9 in the small blind. Yeah, no, I don't know. I just felt like it. I was like, I have a really busy week, man. I can't actually play a lot of poker, so I need to get my
Oh,
Gamba in somewhere.
is this going to be a potential all-in clash? Tens against Ace King? I can see it happening because if the chip leader is going 3-bet it, you're going to think he's making moves. I don't think you can fold 2 tens.
I don't think I would fold. I didn't see a whole lot of aces and kings being folded, so that kind of scares me for Oil Trader. But I don't believe that anyone folded a 10 either. And at least a couple of jacks are gone, so Broadway is a little bit less likely. I think it's
Man, you really
3
analyze
bet.
these other cards.
Yeah, absolutely. It has a big impact, mate. That's an edge. Like for someone who's always looking for edges, in my edge in predicting which hand is going to win is taking a look at the other 14 cards that are being folded.
Wow,
I think
that's a
just
huge
call.
all-in. I think that's going to make it easier to call. Here we go.
Yep. Tens versus ace king. Can the tens hold? So far they can. It's good. Oh my goodness, it's still good. Needs to avoid aces and kings on the river for a big double. Can Oil Trader hold? Yes, he can. There are pips. That's not an ace. It's not a king. That's a big double for Oil Trader.
Yeah, huge double. I like the call there. Don't play scared. And our chip leader barely lasted being the chip leader. Cut down
Now,
immediately. Those $27,000 bet on the top guy, they're pretty sad, right?
yeah, it's a chip leader now. The dude that has $304 riding on him. Oil Trader. With that double, he's actually our new chip leader. How insane is that?
It is really sick because look, it's 5 times the odds to win you value on Oil Trader, especially because they disrespected him poker shares, right? They gave you so much extra value for picking them. My gosh.
That is a massive hold for the tens. That's definitely going to spice things up. I wonder what this is going to do to how Marius Gius is going to play the rest. Because this is definitely where I think no matter how much of a pro crusher veteran you are, no one wants to come into a final table as chip leader, but actually go out in 7th or 8th place. Like, that is the ultra feels bad, the poker walk of shame. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to show it off to your friends. I wonder if it's going to mean that Marius will slow down a little bit.
We're still opening King 9 offsuit here in the cutoff.
Yeah.
Some people would slow down and just throw this in the muck. But I guess we're not going to get to see the Marius Garce as the chip leader, right? Because I was expecting to be a different player, but we barely even started. It's already lost 1,000,000 chips, but obviously a big cooler. 8-4 suited for, how do you say that? Smerkovic? Is that right?
Smilkovic. That's my best guess. I could be wrong, but I think it's pretty close.
I like D. How about
Smilkovic.
DS? I go. I'm gonna butcher it so bad.
Artur has ace deuce. He's gonna let it go. Nader has my birthday. What's up, Nader? He's gonna let it go too. Thomas Muehloecker might open here, and let's see how Smilkovic decides to play ace jack suited in the small blind.
Well, he flatted ace king earlier in position. I wonder if I think normally people would be 3-betting this ace jack suited in this spot, but no, he's giving me some flatting vibes. He's gonna flat.
Doesn't flat a whole lot. He's got 2 overs, obviously, and doesn't have backdoor diamonds, but not a flop that he's in love with. Don't think you could ever fold to a single bet if Thomas Muehloecker does decide to fire here 80k. I think you do have to call. Instead, Smilkovic gets a free turn. Improves his handle a little bit, but I don't think he feels too good about it.
Yeah, even though he does improve his hand a little bit, it's kind of scary because his opponent could obviously have like a king queen, king jack, and they fire. He probably just gonna have to fold ace jack high. Can Thomas bet? I think
I feel like if you want to
decent
bet now after checking. Oh!
Okay.
Doesn't need to bet. Who needs to bet if you can drill a river, mate?
Yeah, well, now both guys are just looking to check it down. I'd be surprised if any bets start firing out now.
If Smilkovic bets big, I wonder if he can get Thomas to fold this 3, but it'd be very weird if like check, 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 check. Then you hit your card and your opponent bets into you. Like, really? On the 3 of clubs on the river? That's when we start betting?
He's so sick. I mean, to be fair, if he had 3-bet the hand, Thomas would not have even seen any of the cards. Can't feel too bad.
Yeah, I mean, the ace king flat early, I know that's not totally standard, but I don't really hate that occasionally. But I felt that this was a perfect moment to 3-bet your ace jack suited, especially because there aren't too many hands that Thomas Muehloecker is not going to open on the button if it gets folded to him. So I would have liked to see him 3-bet here.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. He's got pocket kings down there. Can he get some action from Nator? Extra action.
Why do I feel like Nader is going to flop the nuts
Well,
if he would have opened?
You just gotta pocket threes.
Daniel Dvoress might call on the button here. Tiny pocket pair.
With this stack size, I don't think he can really set mine. It's 20 big blinds. He didn't, and it's like too
21.
much to reshove. Yeah, 21. Still can't set mine with that stack unless you just want to bleed.
Means that the kings get no action.
If you want to set mine too, Roddy, you got to set mine at pocket fives. That's the only hand that hits sets.
Mate, actually, this week, whenever I was playing, every time I saw fives, they made sets. They made so many sets. I'm like, my friend was right. Pocket fives really are the new pocket fours. But I still refuse to believe it. I'm still a bigger pocket four believer than I am pocket fives. It's actually insane. Thomas Muehloecker is going to open up 10-9 of spades. Artur has got a very, very mediocre hand on his big blind, and he decides to let it go. I mean, maybe this is wishful thinking because I put a bit of money on both of them, but I'm kind of feeling the heads up between Artur Martirosian and Thomas Muehloecker. They're across the table from each other. I can see that being our heads up tonight.
Definitely reasonable. But I'm thinking more like oil trader versus Nator, like the 2 wild cards.
That'd be sick.
It'd be pretty funny. Let's see, 2 bigger hands up top. One's out though. I don't think Ninor is folding ace queen right to a single raise. He's gonna call.
Ninor, I don't want to say should have been out yet, but Ninor could have been in a lot of trouble if Daniel caught him earlier. Ace queen is still ahead, but it's not the flop that Ninor was looking for.
Yeah, ace jack actually folded too. Here's ace queen. Gets checked too. Tricky. I like to check because it's tricky. Don't know what to do. You check.
Wonder what Marius does. His hand is not getting any better with that deuce of hearts on the turn.
Well, as he checks here, he's basically just hoping to check down against like a king queen, king 10 suited or something. I think both guys are just going to keep. This is checking day. Maybe level 1 or the first hour, we're just going to check. Play slow.
Well, in 2 hands, the blinds will go up. I'm okay with the occasional checking hand. I don't think we need to go broke every hand, but I'd love to see some action down the line. Let's analyze avatars, Nanonoko. Schmilkovic is the Titanic going down, I believe. What the hell is this?
Usually that's a bad sign because that means your chips is going down. But yeah, no, I haven't seen that one really. What else we got?
Artur is still that weird Marvel character, which Venom. I think.
You
right?
hate them. Yeah, you hated that one. But you like Ninors.
Yeah. I don't know the name of the kid, but it's like they make funny videos where it's like 2 little kids going at it against each other. It really blew up on YouTube a while ago. They're making fun of the UFC and stuff. Artur is 3-betting his ace king, and I think Andres can't really do much else other than let it go. He's just not in a position. Well, it is a suited ace, 4 big blinds closing the action. I think you have to let it go.
All right, what about Marius Garce? Who is in his picture there? Any idea?
I have no idea,
it
but
him?
whenever I see it, and it could be. It's not very Austrian, but maybe he's living his best Austrian life, and he goes like it looks like an Australian surfer to me, or someone on Hawaii. You know, he's just out there, he's chilling, playing some cards. Like that doesn't look like someone in the mountains of Austria. That's not Vienna, you know. That's some tropical place.
I don't think it's him. If I recall what he looked like in our pre-show, that doesn't seem to match at all, unless like all his hair is just now gone.
Unless he was wearing a wig and it was a dress-up party. Anyways, let's talk about this hand. As Andres flops pretty big, flops an ace, and obviously flops the gutter ball too. Artur fires very tiny, barely over 1 big blind. What is that? 1.05? 1.1?
Well, it's just pretty much. You don't need to bet too much. When your opponent calls the flop, they often have an ace, and you know where you're at. Turns a little straight draw. It's always tempting to bet when you pick up a little draw, but your opponent does have an ace a lot. So he's gonna bet. I think he's trying to fold out like the 5-6s, the 5-7 suited, some king highs that might have called. Those hands probably can't call.
Don't really see how Andres ever falls. If anything, I can see him raise. Makes the call. Artur Martirosian does river a queen. That's not the card he was looking for. Wrong paint. Checks back immediately. Your pick wins a big one.
Well, I mean,
your pick of the week, not your win. I know. Yeah, you've got 2 picks. Yeah, you've got 2. Ace queen, ace queen, ace queen, and ace 6 of clubs.
I haven't seen 3 ace queens in one hand before, have I? It's gotta be a first. Literally.
Artur folded ace queen before, not this time. Andres is probably quite tempted to see a flop with his suited ace. Don't think anyone is flopping an ace, by the way, Nana.
It's not happening. Ace 6 suited, yeah, it's weird. It's probably the worst suited ace, one of them, so can't make a wheel. What about this one?
I'm actually excited to see who wins this hand.
Maybe it's Thomas. If he puts in a 3-bet here, I think he's going to take it down. This guy plays to win, Roddy. That's what you like to see when you pick someone to win.
It's a pretty big 3-bet as well. Makes it 9 big blinds to go. Oil Trader did get his big double earlier with 10s. He's feeling rich. You can't really call here, right, with ace queen ever. It's either like you go over the top. Like calling here as Oil Trader seems almost... But like if he calls, what do you do then if Artur jams?
Well, I don't think Artur... I would have just assumed Artur is just always out. Like, be pretty weak. But Oil Trader's just like, I'm out. So do you think Thomas is just going to take it down? It's hard. If Artur continues now, it kind of looks like the hands he's got. Like king, queens, ace, queen. Seems more face up. So when you're face up, you kind of don't want to play your hand as much.
No, okay. Artur lets it go, and Thomas Muehloecker gets the best of the ace queen, ace queen, ace queen. Well done. Aggression pays off as Andres picks up aces at the bottom. Daniel might open with
Again.
king 10 suited under the gun. Poor
Do
Daniel
you think he
Dvoress,
flats
mate. I feel
again?
like this is not Daniel's night yet, Nana.
I was gonna say, do you think he flats the aces again against Daniel? Like, or maybe he 3-bets it this time because he showed the aces last time. It's like, well, if I flat again, they know I've got aces again.
Yeah, actually, the exact same spot too, right? Back then it was king queen. This time it's aces versus king 10. There will be a little 3-bet.
It does
Makes
look
it
insanely
5.
strong, right?
Yeah, because he doesn't have too many big blinds to go with anyway. Daniel, let's go. The king 10 suited. And the rest is like, damn it. Can I get aces against literally anyone else? Someone that does want to give me the full double?
Let's see. King Queen's gonna open. What do you, Ace Jack? I think Ace Jack's out, right? Undergun opens. Seems fine.
Man, this has to be one of the most even chip distributions we've ever had. And I know that sounds very melodramatic, guys. It's like, this has never happened before. And we're like 65 episodes in almost. But look around the table. It is so damn close. Only Daniel is like proper short. Like he's playing a little over 13, 14 big blinds. But everyone else is so close. The midfield is the entire table.
Yeah. So with no dominant chip leader, it's like quite grindy, and you can see all these guys like playing very cautiously. It's going to be the guys that wants to push it to the next level a little bit that's going to take advantage. And to me, that's Thomas Muehloecker right now, because you can tell how he played the ace queen more aggressively, whereas other guys would have probably just flatted. You're going to pick up some extra chips here and there.
Take a look if you're already winning the poll. You're not, but you're catching me real soon, Nana. The Nanonoko fanboys are voting.
Well, what's the percentage or whatever?
It's 55-45.
Oh, it's close. It's kind of like an ace. Oh, so it's ace king versus queens. I'm the ace king right now.
But I'll guarantee you that if you're catching me by the end of this show, I'm going live tonight, mate. And if I have to stream all night to just take the lead one more day, I will. I'll give out VIP badges and moderator badges for people who want to cast a vote on me. Think oil trader tags along.
He's been pretty tight. I wouldn't say been tight, but like he's been choosing selectively some spots that seem like maybe could play. So I doubt there's any chance he played a king suited. Having said that,
Feels like we're kind of waiting for our first big setup. We maybe kind of had one with tens against ace king, where it was like, all right, we kind of know where this is gonna go. Looking around the table, I don't think anyone is really gonna challenge Artur in this hand. Daniel doesn't have that many chips. Oil trader doesn't like his hand. Ninor might limp, but that's about it, I think.
so well, we do have finally a reasonable short stack, right? Daniel Dvoress with 16 bigs, still not the shortest, but I think at this point, when you're the only guy with under 1 million chips, everyone's looking at you like hurry up and bust already.
Yeah.
But I don't know who's gonna bust first.
It's like that one meme of someone sitting on the couch and a bunch of dudes standing behind her. I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, Daniel, is it time? Thomas Muehloecker is opening up 9-8 9-8 of spades as Nader has ace jack offsuit. What are we gonna do with ace jack Nader? Nader is capable of literally everything, so we're not gonna try to make too many predictions. Flops not good, but it's also not the worst, right? For ace jack with the ace of clubs, I don't really hate it.
Yeah, it's not the best. Goes check, so he's got a little gut shot. I guess you could bet, you could check. I can really see it go both ways. If you're betting, you're trying to fold out those ace queens, ace kings. He's gonna fire, but it's not gonna work.
No, Thomas ain't folding here. I actually wonder if Thomas would ever raise in this scenario.
Probably not. You don't want to raise sometimes and then get blown off your hand. Let's just say your opponent just reshoves, and then when you have outs to like clean outs, so like hitting a jack or or what's the other one? 6 to just scoop the pot. So in those spots, you tend to call a little bit more.
Wow.
That's
Nader
a
with
big
a
bet.
pretty big bet. It felt a little random to me, right? Because we're checking and then we're suddenly betting quite big on the, or not that big, but we're betting somewhat decent on the turn. And now we're firing a pretty big bet on the river. It's a very difficult call, of course, to make with just a pair of nines. But where are these bets of Nader coming from? I think Thomas Muehloecker is good enough to find a call here.
Wow,
Oh,
nice
he's so
call
good.
there. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Nice.
well done. Felt a little random to me by Nader.
A little bit. I think Nader just saw like when he saw he had the ace of clubs, like, all right, I'm just gonna fire, try to represent something. But Thomas, he's too smart. Like really, I think also Thomas realizes when he checks that flop, the 9 is kind of one of the best hands you could have. You don't really want to be folding some of the top of your range in spots when you can help it.
Mm-hmm. Very well done. It means that Thomas Muehloecker is our chip leader at this point, as Oil Trader and Marius Gies are going to battle. Marius does flop bottom pair. I know they often say that once you flop a pair, you have to continue, but I feel like these are the kind of pairs that I don't think he'll be too upset if he folds, right?
Against the bigger sizing too, what you say applies even more. Artur did a 50% pop bet, whereas against the 33%, you probably would still call and just like hope for the best. Yeah, because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times when you get called on ace high boards, they just think you got an ace and don't fire no more.
Daniel and Andres might just tango one more time. Queen 9 of diamonds makes the call and somehow flops best. Poor Daniel Dvoress, man. He should not play any hands with Mr. Andres Nemeth tonight.
Yeah, he's just getting pummeled by the same dude. Yeah, feels bad, man.
Feels proper bad. Trip 9s, sure. Daniel, pre-flop was a big favorite, and now on the turn, he's actually drawing that.
Yeah. I guess Andrew's still got to bet his hand because you don't want to let those ace 10 get some free turn river cards and random pocket sevens. So he's gonna fire big, but I don't see how Daniel can do anything. He just doesn't have much stack. It's 144k means a lot to him. He's out.
Sure that Nemeth is wondering, like, how did I not get more of him by now? I got aces twice, and now I've got trip 9s. Just get it over with, Daniel, and give me those last 12 or 13 big blinds. And we can go down to 8. Daniel's going to hang there a little bit longer. And Ninor is going to open ace-jack offsuit. Marius Giese, earlier we saw him get a little out of line with jack 10, but he was the chip leader at that point. And let's see what he does with the jack 10 of hearts. My favorite hand.
I thought your favorite hand
Thomas
was
can call.
A5 offsuit.
No, I love jack 10 of hearts. I told you the story, man. Ooh.
I kind of forgot the story, but let's see this hand first.
You forget most of my stories, Nano. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the story. I have no idea. I have no idea.
You're still
but
forgetting my birthday.
Hand. Yeah, it's May 8th or August 8th. August 5th. It's one of the two.
Marius bets 2.5 big blinds. Thomas Muehloecker flops mid pair and the backdoor spades, so he makes the call. Ninor lets go, but Marius Giese makes a flush on the turn. No way for Thomas Muehloecker to win this hand anymore, but he shouldn't lose too many chips either. Ninor folded the ace of hearts, by the way. I'm sure that he's gonna rabbit hunt this hand if he could.
Yeah, because okay, well he missed, so it's all good. Everything's okay. Wow, dude. So Marius checked back the flush on the turn. Pretty big check.
Don't think Thomas should lose too many chips here. No. He ain't taking the debate, Nanonoko. He ain't taking it.
Well, let's see. Marius, I think he just has to size in a way. Whatever he thinks a king would call. Anything worse, he wouldn't expect him to call anyways. So with this like bet flop, check turn, bet river line, it looks a little fishy. So hopefully he's hoping he can get looked up. But nope.
feel
Too
like he goes
smart.
for 400k because that is kind of what Nator went for when he was bluffing. He's like, I'm bluffing too. It's like, nah. This time Thomas is not feeling it. Thomas Muehloecker playing really well so far. We've got a couple of decent hands here. Oil Trader's got Ace Jack of Hearts. Artur will probably let go of his King 10 offsuit. But Andres Nemeth has Ace 8 of Diamonds. And the diamonds look pretty. A lot of hearts have been folded. I think Ace 8 is the favorite here, Nanonoko. I'm kidding.
1-8 has
I'm
been
kidding.
folded. You're telling me this guy's
Well,
he's gonna call though.
we're gonna get at least one diamond on this flop.
I mean,
Just
the
one
odds
diamond.
are in your favor, right? Are they not? I don't know. I actually don't know
Yeah,
that
they
kind
are.
of stuff.
No, they would be for one. Not for two, of course, but for one they would be. Oil Trader will take it down, even though he didn't flop a whole lot other than a gut shot. So he's still hanging in there, back to 2.2 million chippies. Andres, oh my god, Andres and Daniel Dvoress. It's just not stopping. I want to say it's a never-ending love story, but this is an abusive relationship, Nanonoko.
I think it's over. I mean, this guy Andres
Yeah.
Nemeth got aces, kings. I don't know if he got another kings too, but my god, he runs good right
No.
now.
Yep. And I believe 2 aces have been folded already. Oh, no, 1 ace has been folded on the right side. Daniel or Smilikovic lets go of his ace 10. I mean, Daniel Dvoress is supposed to jam his ace jack here, right, guys? Isn't that what you're
He's
supposed to
jamming.
do?
100% he's jamming. And he's
Both kings got
picking up his
folded too, by
bag.
the way.
Oh yeah, but you don't need a king. You just need to dodge the ace. One out.
I think there is one out. Yeah, I think it's literally one out. I think it's the ace of spades. That's the only ace that's still out there. Ooh, we pick
9.
up extra outs. Every 9 is good too for a straight. Okay. That could have been an ace, but it is not an ace. Unfortunately, Daniel Dvoress is out in 9th place. That has to be a little bit disappointing for Daniel because he did come in with a reasonable stack. Wasn't one of the biggest, but it felt like the poker gods just really, 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 really wanted Daniel Dvoress to give his chips to Andres Nemeth today. That's just the best way to put it.
So they tried many times. And he's like, you did not lose enough chips with the king queen against the aces. Well, we're gonna make sure you're out. You've got 12 big ones of ace jack. Are you really gonna just smooth call the big blind? He did not, and out he goes. And Andres, man, that guy came in at the 8th place. He's cruising really
Yep.
good. I wish I picked him now.
Why? Your other pick is doing great. He's the chip leader.
True. I like the two guys over there. But I'm sure there's someone out there who listened to my final table bet pick and has put money down on Andres Nemeth, right? They're probably thanking me right now because it's 12.5 to 1 if I recall correctly.
Yeah. I mean, I put some money on him, and I actually think I may have made a mistake, and I put money on him twice, but I don't want to check it now because then I would spoil it myself. But I think I picked 3 guys, and I obviously know I have Artur, and I know I have Damas Muehloecker, as Smilkovic shows his queens in the action that he didn't get. And then I think I already put some money on Andres Nemeth, but then I went back to put more money on Andres Nemeth because he was your pick of the week, and I didn't want to hear how you picked the winner, and I didn't pick money on him. So I actually think I bet on Andres Nemeth twice because I'm a baboon and I didn't double check it.
Well, if you did, you've got me feel pretty good about it now, right? Because obviously a very strong player who's doing very well now.
I'm feeling really good about everything so far. I'm loving our table. I feel a little bit sad for Daniel because it honestly wasn't that he did anything wrong. It's just it wasn't meant to be. And Andres Nemeth just kept having the best of him. As Nator did flop a queen here. Nino is I feel like someone who doesn't want to give up too quick, but other than a jack, and even a jack of spades would be really bad Niels as Nator makes a full house. What do you think he does here, Nano? How does Nator play his full house? I think he's going to overbet pot. Oh, he checks.
Oh, interesting. I think I would have bet though. Try to get looked up by those ace highs. If your opponent is checking that turn card, they probably don't got it. So they don't got a king or queen anyways, but they could have ace high because everyone opens an ace high in late position.
And Nador was the big blind, so he doesn't necessarily need to have a king or a queen there. It's not that likely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We could have a little
Nador
pocket there,
try.
counterfeited, of course.
Mm-hmm. Ace Jack this time for Ninor. Ace 10 did not quite work out. Let's see how Ace Jack offsuit does. Nador has Jack 9 of diamonds. And I feel like Nador, he looks at a Jack 9 of diamonds and he's like, how big shall I make it? Or should I fold? And he's like, He's like, all right, we'll fold this time.
Yeah, he's kind of like all over the place because sometimes he plays pretty crazy and then, like obviously the King 7 suited pre-show hand, but then other times he's just like playing very tight. So very, very hard to predict.
Ninor goes from Ace 10 to Ace Jack to Ace King, which means he's going to get aces the next hand. He's not going to get any action though, but at least he picks up a couple blinds. Our blinds will go up again in 2 hands. No aces. No one really has anything here. I feel like Thomas might get a walk.
I think Andrus Nemeth is going to get aces or kings again next hour. Right?
Artur.
Like Archer's wondering, but he's like, dude, this other guy always gets him.
Andrus Nemeth does decide to limp in his Queen 5 offsuit. If you would be in that spot with these stacks respectively, what would you do with Queen 5? Would you also limp or would you fold it once in a blue moon?
Maybe I'm a little nittier. I'd probably fold his hand, but what you want to think about is the big blind going to let me get away with limps? And if the answer is yes, then by all means, Queen 5 it's not great, but it's still got a high card in there, which is decent for blind versus blind spots. I think that Thomas Muehloecker probably respects Andrew Nemeth's games a lot, so he might just not raise his limp as much as some other guys out there.
You know, this is one of my new GG shirts, and I just realized there's text on it, and I actually never took a look at what the text is. And I'm like, what am I actually wearing? Like, what if it says Roddy's a baboon or something? But it just says GG, have a good game today. I'm like, you know what? That is a lovely message, GG. I appreciate it.
They should
We've got Artur
send
here
your
with-
HUD stats or something like that, like your PFR, your VPIP, your 3-bet percentage, and then your PLO cash and zoom results or whatever it is.
I don't know if I want to put that on my wall. I think that Doc Polk has a similar graph on his wall, at least in his old studio room. Anyway, Artur, let's go of the deuces. I think Andres can open this one, or maybe Marius feels like it's time for him to win a hand. He does feel like it's time for him to win a hand, but it's going to be tough, I think, with the King 3 of hearts.
Well, he's 10. It's a decent hand to go for some moves here. He's going to flat call, see what happens. But I like it. I like 3-bet and I like calling. I think they're okay.
I hope that Marius doesn't suffer from the I want to win this hand syndrome, because it is going to be relatively difficult for him to win this one. He checks, and that is a good sign. The wheels are not coming off yet. No worries to all the dudes and dudettes out there that put some money on Marius to win tonight.
Well, Marius has been check folding a lot, I've noticed, as the pre-flop raiser. So if I knew that, I'd be flatting him a bit more. And that's what makes me like the ace-10 call a little bit more, too.
Are we
Pocket
gonna
fours?
see a set with pocket fours? I think we might, like, if eights don't raise, and Smilkovic is not a whole lot of a 3-better. Thomas, A7 sucks, man. You don't need to win every hand. What? He folded eights?
God. Wow, just open.
He's tight.
Smilkovic is playing pretty tight,
Set.
because from what I've seen. He scared me.
No set,
I was like,
but we do. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I just got scared because you said it so confidently, like set. I was like, what?
It's coming, mate. It's coming.
Oh,
Well,
what?
Pocket fours
it.
always make a set, unless they don't need to make a set, Nanonoko. That's the golden rule. And Oil
We're still
Trader
going with
is
that
gonna.
one.
Yeah. Oil Trader does have the best hand here. It's not a whole lot, but it is the 4 high flush, which is a little bit better than the pair of aces that Nader had to work with.
Yeah, but those pocket eights fold is pretty tight. It's disrespectful to Chinese people too. You know, we love them pocket eights. I'm Chinese. I see that stuff. I'm just like, God damn. Now he's got pocket threes. Any chance he plays this? He has to. He's on the button, right? Like, has to play it.
If Thomas
Literally.
folds, I do think he will open, yes.
Like,
But if Thomas opens, wow, he open folds, even on the button. Smilkovic is here for a nice payday. You know what? I can't even blame him. And Ninor gets a walk with 4-5 of clubs. Okay. Okay.
yeah, cool. We're here for pay jumps. It's all good. Someone's got to be here for pay jumps. Everyone can't be going for the win. Otherwise, it's ridiculous.
We could be done within an hour. We won't make to the first break, so that wouldn't be good for the show, Nanonoko.
Alrighty, ace-9, early position. Hey, man, if people are playing a little bit tight, I don't mind this at all.
Yeah, I could only see maybe Oil Trader because he's got such a big stack coming along once with a 6-5 and hoping to flop great, but I know he also doesn't have that many chips. Now, this could become a fun one. We've got ace-9, ace-jack offsuit. You have king-10 of a man who loves to play hands, but you also have Artur Martirosian with pocket eights. Let's see if Artur will show the respect to the pocket eights that they deserve.
Well, in Thomas's spot, he's a late on ace-jack. I was going to say that's a spot where you want to either 3-bet it or just fold. I don't like flat calling. Too many people behind you, unsuited. Now, 2 8s. This is pretty much the same thing, right? Small blind. Yeah, he's not folding this, man. Artur's a different man.
And let's see what the flop brings. Nader is probably not folding this either. Nader flops a pair of 7s. The 8s of Artur are still good. This is not the kind of board that I think I want to see bet against 2 other people with my ace-9.
Yeah. Especially if someone flatting from a small blind, I'm going to put him on a pocket pairs or like a king queen. He's going to go for a bigger bet. He's still going to fire. It's pretty bold.
Yeah. And the rest
Doesn't
is
get the
saying,
eights
hey
out,
man,
though.
I have a pretty big hand. Nader is closing the action once more. Does let it go this time. The jack of spades is kind of a scary card for everyone.
Yeah. And it does give Andres, it's good for Andres in the sense that at least he's got some outs now, he knows. But it's still a little bit scary to keep firing here. Can he figure it out? Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not too sure what to make of it, but I can say his opponent has 8s and 9s a lot, doesn't he, Artur, in this spot? If that's the case, you should bet.
If I'm Andres here, I don't know if I'm worried about Artur having 8s. I think I'm worried about a whole lot of other hands. Wow, does fire again. And fire is quite big. Over 7 big blinds. It seems like an impossible call to make now for Artur. Well done, Andres Niemet. Man, he is actually having one hell of a run. He chips up to 2.3 million, and he's our new chip leader, Nanonoko. What a first hour for the man that came in 8th place to this final table. He's now our chip leader.
Yeah, and he's playing mighty impressive so far. I really like that. Played out some muscle. Good hand reading, because he read Artur from flatting the small blind. Just can't be too strong. 8s and 9s. It's just a heavy part of his range, to be honest. To check call that flop. So well done.
I gotta say, I don't know if I would have the balls and the courage to do that, but it worked out for Andres. He's just having a phenomenal first hour. Obviously, was on the right end of a little setup here and there when he got aces, 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 kings, and kings, but he also played a couple of his weaker hands incredibly well. And he's our deserving chip leader after 1 hour.
Yeah, he didn't get. I guess he did get. Finally got paid off with the Kings against the Daniels' last 500K, but other ones he didn't get too much, but he got a little bit of value.
Marius lets go of the 8-5 offsuit in the small blind, so the rich get richer, and Andres just extends his lead. We are closing in on our first break of the night. If you guys are enjoying the show, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel of GGPoker. Just type in GGPoker over at YouTube, and you'll find it there. You can also vote in our little community tab over at the GGPoker YouTube channel. You can vote for Nanonoko or myself. I don't know why. I don't know what the winner gets. I don't even know if we get anything then. I think it's honestly just for memes and banter. Yeah.
I think they just want to laugh at someone, or just hope we just hate each other by the end of the show. But I cannot hate you. The man with a battle cruiser and what's the other thing called? Battlestar Galactica, whatever thing. I don't forget what it's called already.
It's a carrier, mate. A carrier.
Well, okay then. Never mind. Well done. I never was good at using the carriers because those little things just keep coming out, and I never understood. It was too complicated.
They're actually like the easiest unit to use because they have a crap ton of HP, and the little things that come out are called interceptors, and you don't even need to do anything with them. They just go. I know in Brood War was slightly maybe more complicated, but in StarCraft 2, a lot of people actually complain about carriers being way too good because it takes no IQ to use them, but they can destroy almost every army.
Sounds like my type of unit for sure. Let's see.
Oil trader has.
This went bet. Honestly, this went bet flop check turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Thomas is going for value with the Queen 9 on this river card. The river card that should improve your opponent. Pretty sick.
I feel like Oil Trader is not thinking of hero calling. I was feeling that he was potentially going to make a move here on Thomas, but he lets go. And that is going to do it for our first hour. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the episode so far. We've had a lot of lead changes. It started off with Marius being the chip leader, then it was Oil Trader, then it was Thomas Muehloecker, and now it is Dvoress Nemeth. We have only lost Daniel Dvoress in the first hour. We'll be back in 4 minutes and 40 seconds to continue Week 7, Season 2 of the High Roller Super Millions.
All right, it's the 10K Super Millions bracelet event number 12, a $5 million guarantee on Sunday, Brent, on Sunday, on your birthday. And this tournament plays down until the final table. The final tables resume on Tuesday, of course, streamed on GGPoker.tv. That all sound good to you, birthday boy?
Fantastic. I'm headed to Mexico. I know exactly how I'm going to celebrate, Jeff.
With the Negranus in Mexico, firing the 10K Super Millions.
Hello, everybody. Daniel Negreanu here with some good news from the GG Poker Network. We've been preparing a promotion for the new year called GG Care. As any poker player might know, sometimes you find yourself in what we call unfortunate situations, you know, some ugly bad beats, right? Well, that's where GG Care comes in. GG Care will take care of you with huge prize pools available every day. Let's see how you can get your GG Care benefits. Aces versus kings. Yep, all in before the flop. I mean, nobody's going to fold that, right? That's just a setup. It's a cooler. I can't imagine being, you know, at the final table of the World Series of Poker heads up and this happening to me. It's just brutal. Bad beats should never be a thing, but they are. Thanks, GG. I flopped the top set. Very nice. Some fucking idiot chases a runner straight to suck out on me. Unbelievable. But in my darkest moment, GG Care was there. Thanks, GG. Flop the second nut set, the middle set on the flop. It's an impossible cooler. How can you be beat there? The guy has top set. Nobody's folding that. Sometimes it just feels unfair. Thanks, GG. As you can see, in the most unfortunate of situations, GG Care will appear for you. Are you curious how to get these benefits? Don't worry, you don't even have to lift a finger. First, simply enjoy the game as usual. Whenever something unfortunate happens, GG Care will be there. Secondly, when confronted with such circumstances, GG Care automatically will register you into a flip-out tournament with a huge prize. Just check the pop-up window. Thirdly, take a rest, have yourself a nap, get yourself a good night's sleep, clear your mind of all the bad beats, and when you wake up, the daily GG Care prizes will be waiting for you. That's all there is to GG Care. Pretty simple, isn't it? Just play the game as normal and GG Care will take care of you. And the prize money will only grow more and more in the future, so keep your eyes posted and good luck, everybody. I hope you don't have too many bad beats, but if you do, GG Care will be there. Thanks, GG.
Elkie was waiting to come back to the final table.
Fedor holds things. Oh my god.
Michael Adamo is the best.
Welcome back to our second hour of Week 7, Season 2, where it's safe to say we had a pretty adventurous first hour. Maybe not too many crazy hands that we're going to talk about for weeks, but I don't think it ever happened, Nanonoko, that the guys that came in 9th and 8th place after 1 hour are first and almost second, third in chips. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's pretty sick, but it's a real. I mean, I don't know much about Oil Trader, but Andrus Nemeth, obviously an amazing player and is doing well. But only one player busted, so you think this one's gonna be a little bit quicker or what?
You mean we're gonna lose more players in the second hour?
Nah, that's what I meant to say. But yes.
Well, yes, I do think we'll lose more than one player, but I don't know. I don't think this is one of these nights where everyone just starts dropping like flies, because you look across the table, like who's short right now? Who's the shortest stack? I guess Ninor and Smilkovic. I don't think Smilkovic doesn't strike me as a guy who's going to go out anytime soon unless he gets a real setup or he gets a bad beat, because he just doesn't play that many hands and he's playing pretty conservative and tight. Maybe Ninor.
Yes.
Ninor, I feel like he's here to battle.
Well, Andrus is 3-betting the ace queen. Nador is going to make a move.
I don't think you can have
Wow,
a fold here,
calls.
though. Yeah, but it's only 3 big blinds extra. 3 big blinds for Queen Jack suited. I don't see how you can fold that.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you 3-bet small, if you fold too many hands, then it's just so profitable to 3-bet you. So you just can't let them get away with that as much.
This is really annoying because you do have 3 cards for the nuts, and then obviously every spade is going to give you a flush draw. And it's only 3 big blinds, but it is starting to hurt now. Nader does decide to make the call because he sees the back doors. He's dreaming of a 10. Instead, it's the 4 of clubs. And if Andrus bets now, he's going to take it down.
Yeah.
It's a big hand.
So max value for Andrew. So he's going to be pushed up to 3 million after this pot minimum. I don't think he's going to get more, but he should still fire.
Yeah, he's going to bet, and Nader is going to fold. Okay.
I mean, his stack's pretty shallow anyways.
Yeah. The pot is bigger than what Nader was playing. That does mean that Nader is now our shortest stack. Nader actually came into this final table in 2nd position. In that regard, tonight has really been quite wild, Nano. The guys that started at the bottom or at the top, you might actually see a flop, but Smilkovic has a 5. So I don't think you're going to get a set.
I'll take anything, because last time I didn't even get an opportunity. That's how tilting it was. What? This guy hasn't played a hand, and now he's taking the solver special 3-bet and is 3-betting it. I mean, I like the 3-bet, to be honest, but man, he's been playing tight so far, and I don't think Muehloecker can do anything with 2 5s but fold, given how he's been playing.
Same. If I'm Muehloecker here and you take a look, obviously the players are watching the stream too. There is a delay, but they will see some of the hands that have been folded.
Wow.
Still makes the call with 5s, and I think Smilkovic is shaking in his boots now. He's like, oh my god, there's no way my ace-5 offsuit is good here. but he actually does have the best hand.
Yeah, he did at least flop something. Gonna fire and just hope for the best.
Takes it down. Nice hand. Nice 3-bet. Kind of came out of nowhere. Nino is showing us that he had king 7 of diamonds. You flopped a big draw, mate. we'll
Maybe he was
acknowledge it.
playing the
Big
long
draw.
con though, because he was like, "I'm gonna play tight the first hour, then I'm gonna get away with a random 3-bet, and it's gonna work." And to be fair, like I would have folded
Yeah.
those 2 5s. I would have folded everything.
No, same. That came out of nowhere. It's not that we hate the play because we've seen it a lot, and you said it. It's a sort of a special, and we see something similar happen at least once each and every single week. But just it came out of nowhere. The man has been open folding a lot of pairs, folded eights like they were deuces or 8 deuce offsuit. And suddenly 3-betting ace-5 offsuit. It wasn't even the suited ace-5, so well done.
And he wasn't even in the blinds. A lot of guys like to do it while they're in the blinds. Now he's 3-betting ace-4 suited. He's changed at this break. He's really, I think he really is playing off of his image. I think he knows it.
Nader just folded pocket eights in the big blind.
I mean, I can't blame him, right? Like this guy hasn't
No.
been playing many hands. 3-betting twice in a row. Ace deuce offsuit was obviously garbage.
And there was maybe thinking
he's
like,
not
you're
folding.
really 3-betting twice in a row, but
He's actually thinking about it because this is precious time bank, and I know he knows these time banks don't refresh. Can he make a play, Roddy? It'd be so sick, right? Ace deuce offsuit.
he may think that Smilkovic definitely doesn't want to bust, doesn't want to play for all the chips. Andres
Wow.
Nemeth does make a play, and now there is no way that Smilkovic is going to fight back. I don't believe it. If that happens, if he just jams now Nanonoko, I know nothing, and I will not say anything for the upcoming hour.
It's sick though, right? Like this is a sick 4-bet with ace deuce offsuit against the guy who's been pretty tight, man. And he's just 3-bet, so he's even more likely to have on the second one, I would say. But he hasn't folded. He has folded.
Wow.
Sick play.
All right. Andres Nemeth is so good. He's playing so well. He's up to 3.4 million. Nino has pocket fives here, and nobody else has a 5. But Thomas Muehloecker might ruin this party.
Man, I mean, like, I love Thomas Muehloecker. Part of me was thinking, pick Andrews, but he's coming 8th place. I was like, I want to just keep getting points, but man, he's crushing hard right now, like steamrolling.
Playing incredibly well. Takes down the next spot too, with ace-9 offsuit under the gun. Yeah, he's flying. That's just the best way to put it. Let's
Roddy,
see if
the
someone
Hungarians
yeah.
do not disappoint, do they?
If he wins again, it'd be sick, actually. 3 out of 7 editions, a Hungarian winner. Like, I'm moving to Hungary, mate. I'm playing the next High Roller Super Millions from Budapest. Sorry.
Budapest. But you know the thing is, it's not like these Hungarians. Not obviously Andres hasn't won it, but like they haven't been playing. They haven't gotten lucky to win it. Like they've all been crushing hard. And look at this 5-3 offsuit.
Well,
Defends.
I don't know if it was Zagos or the other one that did hit that king or 10 on the river for a monster pot. Otherwise, he would have been out in 7th place. But
Yeah, it was Zagos, right? But I guess technically it was like he got it in and maybe as a flip or something. It wasn't like a 2
Yeah,
hour
yeah,
and
exactly.
he ended up winning.
no, that's true. Well, Andres decided to chase his open ender. The board pairing is obviously no bueno for him, but he does make a pair of 3s on the river, so he actually makes the best hand. He may not think it's the best hand, but we know it is.
Yeah, it's much better to hit that pair where you don't need to
Wow.
decide whether you should bluff at it or not. He's gonna scoop another one. Steam rolling.
3.6 million. That beautiful Hungarian man started this final table with 960,000 chips. That's sick. That is actually sick.
And now we've got a real chip lead here, right? Because we barely even saw a real chip lead when Marius lost it. And like it's been same stack everywhere. But you can see with this chip lead, he can see the confidence, and he's raising hands like ace-9 offsuit, ace-deuce offsuit in early positions, right? I don't think that's going to change. Jack-9 obviously would be open if it gets folded to him. I don't think it will. Oil trader though, he's mixing it up. King 9 suited UTG.
I gotta say, they have been opening a lot of mediocre hands under the gun tonight. Just it's like, hey, look at me being really strong. If I were you guys, I would all fold because I'm opening under the gun. They definitely don't want to get 3-bet. This one
But
might work too, and it
that
actually
doesn't
makes
work as
sense.
well. I was gonna say it doesn't work as well with whole cards up. You know, like if we're playing live at the WSOP, whole cards down and everything, like that stuff gets away all the time.
It also makes sense to attack the big blind of Smilkovic, though, because Smilkovic, I know that he just started 3-betting ace-5 and ace-4, but based upon that first hour, I don't think you're going to find all the resistance there. So it makes sense for Oil Trader and maybe before Daniel Dvoress to open up a couple hands under the gun, hoping you can just take it down.
True. They also don't know that Smilkovic has been 3-betting those hands, right? Pocket kings. This guy, I told you, he's gonna get aces or kings in break number session hour 2. Got ace jack behind him because Muehloecker keeps getting ace jack, and he keeps folding. But now I don't think this time he's doing it.
No, especially not because Andres Niemann has been opening up like the last 3 or 4 orbits, so or 3 or 4 hands. So pretty much gotta fight back eventually, and you really can't blame Thomas Muehloecker for it. I want to say, I don't know who's been blessing the Hungarians so far in Season 2, but it's actually pretty sick. Thomas Muehloecker is going to 3-bet his ace-jack. And what do you think Andres Niemann does? Because earlier, he tried to trap a couple times with his big hands.
He's probably going to 4-bet this spot still because of how deep they are. And I think he can kind of get in a leveling war with Muehloecker and get Muehloecker to just either call some 4-bets or just make some punty play and overplay something. I think he definitely will be 4-betting this.
But probably quite big then, right?
Yeah, it's about 2 times, a little bit more than 2x seems about right. You got to leave the room. You can't make it like 900K where, oh, you're never folding. You want to give the illusion that maybe you'll fold if you get jammed on.
Yeah. Thomas Muehloecker does fold. I'm sure that it stings a little bit, where he's like, not sure if, but this time it was the correct fold, Thomas. Just unfortunate timing. Pretty sad, actually, because he folded ace-jack a couple times where it was like, yeah, would have done all right. Maybe even the best hand. Folded it before against the ace-9 open, I believe, but this time decided to fight back. Unfortunately, Andres had kings. He's over 4 million now, and he shows the 6s. He's like, guys, I'm not opening garbage, I promise. I really do have it, sort of.
Has anyone ever shown 6s with an early position raise? Like, yeah. It's like showing, like imagine he raises or he shows, like, ace-9 offsuit or something. Like, what kind of show is that?
He won't show ace-9. He might show the ace, but he won't show the ace-9. Artur has king, queen of spades in the small blind. I wonder how he's going to play this. Jamming is fine, obviously, and that is exactly what he's going to do. Artur finally winning one. Ever since Artur was forced to fold his pocket 8s against that ace-9, I believe it was, of Andres Niemann, Artur really hasn't been winning a hand.
Yeah, he's been kind of quiet. Yeah, kind of like what happened last time he final tabled this season. He just was super quiet. Maybe he's just trying to collect those pay jumps again today.
Can definitely open the ace-4 from the button, though. Marius Giersen once upon a time was looking pretty with 3 million chips. I lost 1 million to oil. Whoa, he just opened folded ace-4 on the button. What do you make of that?
Ace-4 offsuit? Yeah, it's a pretty big fold. I don't know. I'm not. I think I would raise. I mean, like, yeah. I don't know what to say. I would raise.
Maybe he's afraid that Nador would jam. Maybe that's what he's worried about.
Yeah, basically. But, like, the guys he's playing against in the blinds right now haven't been too crazy. I don't know. Seemed like a man. Like, moving on. Here's pocket 8s up here. Queen 6, this is a disrespectful defend, but all right, we try.
Yeah. Well, he's been running pretty hot, so I think at that point you're like, we've got 4.3 million chips. Let's see a flop. Maybe I can flop something good.
Andres taking his
time.
time.
Andres. You don't
He's
have
like-
to win every hand. Okay. That's good. I have noticed, Nano, that like with the different software that we're using, obviously you are very far away from me. I'm in the Netherlands, you're in Australia. There is a small delay. The ping is a bit higher in some way how we're doing this than it was before. So sometimes like you start talking, but I don't hear it yet until I start talking, and that's why I'm interrupting you. But I hope you know it's not on purpose.
Yeah, you know, I thought something was off a little bit, but well, just let the production know. We'll figure it out. Hopefully, we can get it smooth. But yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Because I'm always like, you really waiting for me to finish talking? Something's different today.
Sure, mate. That's a beautiful flop for Andres Niemet. That's an even better looking turn. Makes the flush. I don't think he's going to get too many chips out of Marius Gierse. It felt that Marius really kind of entered a state of shock after he lost that really big pot, and then another tiny pot went against him. And he's like, I think it's time to slow down because I ain't entering this as chip leader and going out in 7th place today.
Yeah, you know, like Maris says he opens a decent amount, but he hasn't fired a single continuation bet, if I recall correctly. Like seriously, he just keeps checking, check. But you know, his opponent's got a big one.
Wow, nice
Wow.
bet.
Nice bet, mate.
2x pot. Yeah.
The new 420.
In Marius Gierse, his defense, he's also been flopping pretty ugly, man. Like, not even the backdoors, man. There is really not a whole lot to look at.
I feel like we're dealing pocket eights all around the table today.
Ace king for Artur Martirosian, though. I could see Oil Trader open because he wants to attack the big blind of Smilkovic. But he doesn't do that. Let's see how Nino decides to play his eights with, 12, 13 big blinds. Pretty much jams it, I guess. Artur. Oh no, Artur, don't disconnect. That'd be so sad, mate. No.
Technically, it's a coin flip, but yeah, no, he's got time to get back, right?
I don't know if it's a coin flip because one of the eights is out too, so it's very unlikely to make a set. One of king is folded though. Come on, Artur. Get back in there. I've got some money on you tonight, mate. What is wrong with the Russian internet?
Is he really going to time out?
I think so.
Oh, Russians folding ace king because they have bad. You look so defeated, Roddy.
Oh, he's back now. Yeah, of course I'm so defeated. I would have been a monster pot.
Oh, wait,
Artur...
does he show? Does he show the ace king?
Yes.
No, he's just so tilted.
Yeah, Artur is on tilt, I guess. A lot of people would show. Man, that's really sad. Then again, he obviously could have lost. Pocket jacks for Smilkovic. Ace queen for Marius Gierse. A jack is out, a queen is out. Nanonoko. Marius didn't want to go out early, but I have the feel. Wow, Nator is the one who's jamming. Oh my goodness. You think Marius jams and does Smilkovic fold jacks?
Well, Marius has to go with his hand because Nader's jamming 9 big blinds, all right? I think the jacks... Oh my god. I wouldn't fold this because I'm like... If I... Say you get him 2 jacks, if you beat Nader, you still get a pay jump. Okay? Even if you bust a hand to Marius. That's what I think about. Because jack seems like it's too strong. Guy's sitting on...
This
like
is
for 9 big blind jam, like I can't fold this. I can see people folding it. Yeah, nice play. Good.
Very well done, but he hasn't won the hand yet because Marius is still out there looking for 3 of those aces or 2 of those queens. I mean, Marius can't really fold 600k, even though he probably hates seeing this. He will think, this is bad for me. But you have to call. It's 10 big blinds to potentially win. I don't even know how many. Way too many. Like 40?
Yeah, no. This is not, I mean, this is a no-brainer call. But
cycle. No-brainer call. And then you're like, oh, it's actually not that bad. Maybe. Oh, there's the ace for Marius Gierse. A heart is good for who? No one. Nope,
No.
that's not a jack because it was a spade. Marius Giese makes 2 pair and wins a monster pot. Knocks out 2 players in one hand. Obviously means Nader goes out in 8th place and Smilkovic goes out in 7th place. That's pretty sick, right? Because Marius was probably like hating the fact that he had to put in a 600k extra, and then he's like, "Oh, it's actually not so bad." And then you win the hand, you're 3.3 million. It's pretty good.
I don't even know if you noticed, but the flop came out, and then he goes, just one time, Marius. Like, you do the just one time before you call with the ace queen, not the you hit the ace, they're drawing to like no outs. Just one time. I don't want to get sucked out on by the one outer.
Wow. Talking about a swing of momentum. I'm talking about a break for all the people that put quite some dollars tonight on Marius Giese. He is completely back in the mix. And Ninor has aces while playing a little over 13, 14 big blinds. Or 15, actually. 16 even. Damn it, guys. Math is hard. 16 big blinds. 18. No.
Well, we're definitely speeding up on this hour. Like, just as I said that earlier, like bust out after bust. That's a double KO. Very rare.
It's 40. Yeah. No bounties, though. No, it's... Why can I not do math? It was 14 and a bit. The 60k big blind is kind of annoying, I'll give you that. Anyway, it doesn't matter because Andres doesn't want to pay off, and Nino does win a couple chips, but I think it's safe to say he was hoping for a little more. He says ace-3 offsuit, no good. That's pretty much what Andres Niemet had, right? Didn't he literally have that? Like ace-3 or ace-4 or something?
I think it was ace-4, but yeah, it's ace rags, literally. I'm
Pretty
still
sick.
surprised Artur hasn't talked about this ace-king. Like, he's just ignoring it. Like, nothing happened.
Maybe he rabbit hunted, and the flop had and it was like an 8-7-6 flop.
Or he saw the ace-king flop and just got some vodka.
Yeah. Today no more poker for me. I am done.
Like, that might be the one thing to get him to quit playing poker.
Yeah. Okay, today not my day. Tomorrow though, never miss a day. I'll be back.
He should really have that hashtag, never miss a day.
Marius Giese has got a lot of chips again. Let's see if he's going to put them to use. He will open up King 10 offsuit. But Thomas Muehloecker has ace queen offsuit in the small blind. We're going to 3-bet it. The question is how much? 310 maybe? 330?
Maybe a bit bigger because you're out of position. Otherwise, I would go... Yeah, I like bigger.
That's real big.
Or how about just send it all of it? Makes it a little bit simpler.
29 big blinds. I could do that. Sometimes you just have brain lag, you know? You're trying to do very basic math and then you make it really hard on yourself. Let's see if Thomas wants to fight again. If Artur folds and Marius folds, Andres is definitely going to open his ace-5 as the chip leader. What do we do with ace-jack on the button?
Well, I mean, I tell you, Thomas Muehloecker keeps getting ace-jack against Andres Nemeth. He's folded correctly multiple times, and then we finally 3-bet it. It didn't work. Now he's flat calling. He's trying the last option. He's actually flop. Winning chips type of hand.
Yep. Andres flops top pair, so does Thomas Muehloecker. Thomas Muehloecker, his kicker, obviously plays and is good. Could definitely bet here, right? Like 145. Oh.
How?
Pain.
That's just brutal. This is obviously going to lose turn and river. Wow, check. Andres is a sneaky player, but when he did this before, he missed out on value against Daniel Dvoress' King Queen. But I don't think that's going to happen this time. I think Thomas is going to value own himself.
Yeah.
But he might get raised somewhere. I just wonder where.
I guess it depends a lot on what the river card is anyway. Thomas Muehloecker will fire a little over 4 big blinds, 248,000 chips. The thing is, you're not too worried about like 6-8 or any 6x, 8x, because why would Thomas Muehloecker just call with those hands, right? From the button. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, Andrus is not worried at all. He would get all the chips in if he could. He's just wondering what's the best way to look weak, and it's a tiny check raise. And Thomas is a suspicious player, man. I don't know if he can fold this.
Let's not forget that Thomas earlier was forced to fold as well after he made a big bet, or it was a 3-bet against Andres. Eventually, you feel like enough is enough. What is Thomas Muehloecker going to do? I find it very hard to figure out what he is thinking at this point.
Well, the line does look strong. It looks like if I'm playing this, I'm like, this guy looks like he's got aces, but Andrews can't play aces this way. He doesn't play like that. Like, wow, this is a tough spot, Rowdy. I tell you.
Check. Bet raise.
Yeah. But who's sick enough to check raise like this as a bluff? That's the real question, Roddy.
Could it be a semi-bluff?
Like
a suited 10-8?
Wow.
Good fold. Really good fold by Thomas Muehloecker. I'm sure that it hurts, and I'm sure that he didn't like it, but we knew that he made an excellent fold there. Very impressive stuff. Obviously, there were some river cards that were going to save him, right? The ace-5 could have been counterfeited, and the jack could have played, or a jack on the river, but very well done. Obviously, well played by both players.
The funny thing is, Andrus doesn't realize he probably won the least by the way he played it. Had he bet the turn himself, or check called, he would actually won more money. Man, I had no set again. God damn this game.
I actually thought that maybe Oil Trader could have considered calling. He had 10-8 suited on the button. This could be a big hand. I don't know if Andrus wants to pay off $1 million. Nah, probably
he
not.
Might. This guy's taunting him, saying you got the ace-3 or ace-4 earlier, remember?
And he was right, to be fair.
It's $1 million more. It's a lot of chips. But if you just think you can't lose an all-in, sometimes you just go, let's go.
This is always a funny spot to me, because I feel that this is going perfectly fine for Andres, and he doesn't have to go for it here. But he will go for it. 7s against ace-king. The 7s are a little ahead. They are still ahead. That is a good flop. They're still ahead. Andres needs to avoid aces and kings on the river, and if he does, he takes a monstrous lead, and he holds. The 7s hold, and he chips up to 6 million chips. Ninor is out in 6th place. Nanonoko, that's... Andres just feels that he can't lose. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, can't lose. So we do lose that guy out in 6, but I'm just getting a little... You didn't? Did you put any? You put money on Andrus Nemeth though, right? You did?
Yeah, I think twice even.
Yeah, twice.
Well, I know I did
feeling
it
so
once.
good. Maybe 3 times or 4 times?
No, not 3 times. No, I actually think I'm really dumb. I was streaming a little bit before, and then I was getting ready, and I had to send some emails, and I kind of had a hectic day. And I remember I put some money on 3 players, and I wanted to let you place 1 bet for me. But since we had a new interface here, slightly different software, I'm like, let's not make tonight any more complicated than it is. Let me just put some money on Dvoress Nemeth, because that's Nanonoko's pick of the week anyway, and I closed the client, so I didn't want to do it live. But then later on, I'm looking at my phone, and I took a picture of the first 3 guys I bet on, and that was Artur, Thomas Muehloecker, and Dvoress Nemeth. And I'm like, did I really bet on Dvoress twice? And I think that is what happened.
Well, you're on pace to get some money today. That's good, because it's been a while since you won a final table. I don't think you won one this season yet, if I recall correctly.
Every week, 2nd place. Literally every single week, I had some money on the runner-up. Now, of course, I do often put money on like 2 or 3 players, so it makes sense that at least one of them goes far. Otherwise, I really suck. But I have not picked a winner yet, but I have picked someone finishing 2nd each and every single week.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, so I guess right now your biggest enemy is Mary Scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Archer hasn't played a hand in a while. He's playing this one.
Scary flop, right? You flop your ace, you probably feel quite decent about that, even though the 9 is not the best kicker ever, but a monotone board, all spades. And
He's
Andres does
giving.
have spades.
Yeah, he did check though, so he's kind of giving Andres a chance to hit some cards right now.
I think he might all in, actually. I think Artur might check. Okay, he doesn't. Just calls. That feels really scary to me.
I mean, it kind of also looks like a hand like King X with one spade a lot of times, or Ace Rags. Like a King Jack, Jack of Spade, King Queen.
Ooh.
That's
That is a big bet for Artur's stack, man. Artur only has 800k behind.
I mean, it's only a third of the pot, but like, it looks strong, doesn't it? Like, if he couldn't see the whole cards, you'd be like, Andres Nima's got a bigger ace, or maybe he's flopped it.
I think Artur obviously has to play all in, or I would all in, man. Just close your eyes and hope your ace 9 is good, because there's a good chance your opponent does have one spade.
I mean, like,
Come on,
Andres
Artur.
Nima's has been out. He's too solid of his own good right now. He's making the wrong decisions.
Second time tonight that Andres Nemeth gets the best of Artur Martirosian, while Artur actually has the best hand earlier with the pocket eights. Now the eights I do think were very difficult to play on the turn. I think at that board, when you're raising ace 9 and you do flop your ace, I think you have to believe a little bit. Look at this, King 5. It's not a Ben CB powerhouse. It's not a Nador powerhouse. It's a Hungarian powerhouse.
It's gonna work. Ace 9. What's he gonna do? He's in second place. Do you really like this? Is just the perfect play of the chip leader. Pressure the second place guy. What is he gonna make a play at you when Artur is sitting on 11 big blinds? No.
It's not just Artur, right? Even Thomas Muehloecker doesn't have all that much anymore. He's playing 23 big blinds. Oil trader. He's still playing over 30.
Look, I'm oil trader. I'm
Ooh,
just cruising.
Marius. Marius has an ace, but it is the absolute worst ace. He may actually think that any ace is good here.
I know it's not the best hand right now, but I still think you got to call this. Like, the small blind it's going to jam so much worse. All the King X's.
A lot of King 9s, King 8s, Queen Jack.
And you got a stack to play with. If you lose, it's not a big deal.
I don't hate a fold, but I do think you have to call. Wow. Solid fold, though.
Conservative.
Yeah. I think if it's suited, he definitely calls. If the ace deuce was suited, he'd call.
Yeah. But still, like, man, folding an ace there is huge. And I mean, it's the right fold. We see it. But a lot of times it's not the right fold.
He only needs to be right once, Nanonoko. Ace 8 of spades under the gun. Ooh. Both of them flop an ace. Let's see how this one goes.
Well, last time in the spot, Thomas made the big fold of ace jack.
Don't think he's too eager to do something similar.
That's a call.
I think check here.
Yeah. You'll see that a lot with these ace rag stuff.
Thomas, I feel like whenever we have Thomas at our final table, he never just smashes it. And right when I start that sentence, he makes 2 pair on the river. But I feel that Thomas, every hand he ever plays is difficult. Why does he never just flop top set and is the other guy betting into him? Like, what has Thomas done to never get that joy of poker?
He gets a lot of tough decisions, but I mean, he gets a lot of final tables too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Well, this has got to be a raise, right? Like the guy bets a quarter pot into you. You're river to 2 pair. Your opponent looks like he's got an ace.
I think I just called.
Andres is tricky, but I don't know. Annoying.
I'd be a coward, but I think I would just call.
Most people would. Oh, he does just call. I thought Thomas would trigger. But I don't think he would have got called anyways, so to be fair.
Yeah. But like, what
That's
hand
important.
do you get called by if you raise that is worse than your ace-8? I feel like there is almost none.
Yeah, so that's basically the logic is, do you think those hands would call? There's a lot of hands that are worse, but will they call?
Mm-hmm. King 10 of diamonds is going to open things up under the gun. Martirosian has lost a couple of all the chips he just won in that three-way pot, but he's still sitting pretty at 3 million. That's basically what he started the evening with. This is it's a very unpredictable evening so far, Nanonoko. I think that's the best way to sum it up. After the first hour, the guys that started at the bottom are the chip leaders. Once upon a time, chip leader was almost out if he didn't win a three-way all-in and win some chips back. Artur had a solid start and had a couple of opportunities to maybe win some chips, but also made like the fold of ace-4 when it got folded to him on the button. That was a really weird one to me. That just doesn't feel like Artur. I feel like Artur always opens there.
Artur's just playing solid. He's continuing his last run at the Season 2 final table. But he's hanging in there. Pocket deuces out. All right.
Obviously, the pay jumps are getting very nice at this point. Top 5 pays $121,000. And the next pay jump would be up to 155. And then we're already heading towards 200K for third. I guess Artur is now just looking at it like, all right, let's just get one more pay jump. That's 3 more buy-ins for the High Roller Super Millions that I will obviously play next week and the week after and the week after. Because some people
Or
never miss
how
a Sunday.
many of those $100 6 shooters he can enter, or how many of those 200 bounty turbo kings or whatever you call them.
He plays those, mate. I mean, the bounty hunter
know.
king is a fun one, but that's not a turbo. But he definitely plays the 210 turbos and stuff too. Artur is a poker player. Sometimes I make fun of my friends that are like StarCraft players, but they really like a lot of different video games too. And I'm like, you're just a gamer, man. Because I'm really not much of a gamer. I love StarCraft, but that's it. And they're like, yeah, I am a gamer. And Artur is just a poker player. That man loves poker.
All right. Wow. So Artur just min-raised blind versus blind with his tiny stack. Got it to work. It does look strong. Smooth.
Mm-hmm. Thomas is going to open it up with King Queen. I do think that Andres is going to defend his suited king on the big blind. If we're defending Queen 5 offsuit, I'm pretty damn sure we're defending King 7 of hearts.
And 3-5 offsuit. Every offsuit hand. Pretty much any 2 cards at this point.
I think maybe like a 9 deuce or an 8 deuce. He'll let those go, but
yeah.
He sees the back doors. He's like, well, if the turn is a jack of hearts or a queen of hearts, it makes my hand pretty good, so I'm gonna call.
Well, to be fair, I think he can potentially steal this one way because Thomas's hand is not very good. Yeah, we know the King 7 needs to bet. If you're floating, right, you're gonna fire huge.
He would have to bet really big. Let's not forget that earlier in a not totally similar but somewhat similar hand, he bet X2 pot on the river.
Yeah, I remember he had a flush. He has a big bet. How can King Queen call this? What did he go put the guy on? Wow, Andres is just playing perfect today, isn't he?
I don't know if this is gonna work. I actually think this time Thomas might call.
Well, he's suspicious. He's wondering why his opponent's opting for a big bet sizing. But it's one hell of a call if you can make it. Flush got there, 2 pairs.
But it's Thomas Muehloecker. He never gets an easy hand, Nanonoko. That man needs to work for every chip he gets, okay? That is just a reoccurring trend at these final tables. I think Thomas is going to close his eyes. He will not call, unfortunately. So Andres does get away with the King 7 of hearts here. It's pretty sick, man. Everything is working out for Andres Nemeth.
Yeah, playing phenomenal. Like, that's not a pot where King 7 wins for
No.
most guys. Usually they fold at the flop.
I do think it probably favors Andres as well, right? As long as Artur is in, because now the other guys, they don't want to play for all the chips, or they don't want to make pots too big because they are waiting for Artur to go.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right on that. That's the thing. You always want to see if there's like a 10 to 12 big blind guy. If that's the case, you can just go ham if you're the chip leader, like ace, any position at this point. King, queen, I'm quite curious. Actually, Thomas's hand is, I'm
Yeah.
curious too, because these are hands where you would reshove, and I think they still might still, yeah. If Archer was
It's the
shorter, he
correct
probably
move.
wouldn't take this spot.
It's correct move by Thomas. Andres is not calling this one with his ace-3. Oil trader. King, queen. It's really not that great. I do feel actually if he calls, he's probably going to win, but Oil trader can't really make this call, so he lets it go. And Thomas Muehloecker finally wins some chips back. It's good to see there is some fight left. Artur with a weaker version of the Ben CB powerhouse.
Not suited. We can't play King 6 offsuit, can we? Oh, okay.
Apparently we
Well, I
can,
guess he
and we
wasn't
can
a
flop
big
top
blind.
pair.
As good as it gets. Is this the start of Archer's upswing from 700K
to 7 mil?
7 mil? You won the tournament almost, right? How many chips we playing? 14 million, right? Yeah.
Thomas Muehloecker has no way to win this hand. I think at this point, he has to kind of get that too, because Artur really doesn't have too many chips. Then again, Artur has called a reasonable amount of flops tonight, and then actually folded to the turn bet. Maybe Thomas picked up on that, and he's like, Artur does not love that river card, that's for sure.
Yes, that's like the worst one in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Can Thomas really fire? Because he is up against an ace X a lot too. I guess some of those ace X's would reshove pre-flop though, given the stack size. Does he think a king would fold? Maybe.
If he bets real big.
Yeah. 300 plus. Possible.
And he does
300.
it. Oh, Artur. Artur hated that river card. That's the one card he really did not want to see. Can Artur Martirosian find a call with his pair of kings? It really does feel and it does look like Thomas Muehloecker has an ace.
It's a good bluff size, and the line is very credible. But Artur, he's been folding all day. I think he might be done soon, don't you think? He's just like, nah. If I fold this again, I might as well not be playing.
The thing is, if you're Artur here, though, you can be like, well, if I fold here, I still have 10 big blinds, 1 double, and I'm back in the mix, you know? But if you call here and you're wrong, then it's pretty much the end of your tournament.
Yeah, like there's no fold equity if you do call and wrong. Yeah, that would suck. But if you call and you're right, we never thought about that one, right? We could be right. Could make a lot of chips. Oh, nice.
Artur fights back. Very solid call there. A lot of the players having to make some very tough decisions tonight. Solid stuff. Artur back to 20 big blinds. Thomas Muehloecker in pain. Didn't hate the bet on the river, though. I thought it was a solid bet. Just Artur is showing us that he still got it. He has made an incorrect fold once or twice tonight that we can't really fault him for too much. Like the 8s was very hard to play. I didn't like the ace-4 fold. That was just not Artur, in my opinion, but whatever. But this was a very good call.
Yeah, no, he's got mini gears. Now he's on beast mode gear. His old
Thomas Muehloecker a shorter stack.
I can't remember when Oil Trader played a hand besides the pocket 10s.
Ever since Smilkovic is out, he's not opening a lot anymore. Artur fires one big blind. And the rest lets it go. Artur hates his life after flopping top and bottom pair. Would have loved to win a few more chips there. But the upswing is still in full force, Nanonoko.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Oil trader. 17% VPIP going for it. It looks strong, but Thomas is not folding 10-8 suited.
Just toss in a big blind and all in with anything that looks remotely good. Is that the plan?
I mean, it's not that simple, but it's still a room to play with 10-8 suited. And would you say that's a
Check
good
fold.
flop?
I would say that's an awful flop, Nanonoko.
The open fold.
Let's see.
You ever see those? The casino, you just open fold.
I actually did. It was so funny, mate. When I played offline poker a couple of weeks ago, when I went to that little company, like the ghetto poker, as I called it, there was this one family pot, 5-way, and was just like check, 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 check. And I had like the third nut low. And then on the river or something, I just folded, like even though I could have checked. And then 3 people were like, hey, man, you could have checked. I'm like, thanks, guys. I really didn't know. And then my dad is like, you could have just checked there. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I know. I have nothing. Okay, I have the nut low. Look at Thomas Muehloecker. Jamming
This
King
is getting
Jack.
called.
Ace. Yeah, I think so too. It's a little over 10 big blinds. Andrews does make the call, but King Jack can absolutely get there. That's not a good flop for King Jack. He needs another king or a jack. Thomas Muehloecker is drawing to a king or a jack on the river, or he is out in 5th place. That's not paint. That means this is the end of Thomas Muehloecker. He will walk away with $121,000, but that is going to do it.
Man, great ace. It's better than 9th, 7th, and 6th, 5th. It's about pace for Thomas Muehloecker. He's getting up there, but he had a lot of tough spots. He was my pick to win it today. It was between him and Andres, and I can't believe I didn't pick Andres. And now we got pocket tens and oil traders got ace-7 suited. It's a decent hand.
Oh.
He's all in.
Snap
Wow.
call. Well, this is a snap
Yeah.
call. You can't
This is
fold
snap
tens
call.
here, I think.
Here we go.
I mean, the snap was a little late, but Marius gets it in real good with the tens here. Flops set as well. Hard, running hard, a hard to chop it. That's the most brutal way. A hard. Oh my God! That's so sick. Oh no, I've been there. Yeah, exactly, Andres. Oh, mate, those are the worst ways to lose. Well, kind of lose a hand, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
wow.
sick.
It's
That
because
is
Mary
so sick.
Scarcey, he does it wrong. He does the just one time when he flops the world every single time. Like what? Just one time? Let's chop it up. Because what kind of how can Oil Trader win the hand after that flop? Ay ay ay.
Oh,
Second
sick.
life.
That's so sick. No way to win, but a way to chop, and he found it. 5 hearts on the board, both players playing their flush. Pure pain.
Well, that's what happens when you take so long to call in a snap call situation. You know, the poker gods are like, we don't like this. We're gonna screw you over.
Oil Trader folding 8-3 offsuit in the small blind, so Artur gets a walk with his 8-deuce offsuit in the big blind. I'm sure he's very happy with that. Oh, that's so sick. Sometimes you just like, it's so funny, mate. Last night I was watching one of my friends play poker, and I feel like when you play a lot of online poker and like you have like a lot of deep runs and like spots that mean something to you, you start getting traumatized, right? Because obviously everyone loses a lot. The more the tournaments you play, the more big pots you play, the more sick things you see. It just makes sense. It's a numbers game. And my friend, as I don't think too much is going to happen here, the TLDR is it's very deep into a tournament. There's like 20 people left, and he has pocket tens. And somebody else raised, I think he 3-bet, the other dude called. And the flop is literally 10, 9, 6. So he checks, the other guy bets, he calls. Turn is a jack. Or no, it was 10, 9, 8 actually. Turn is a jack. I'm like, uh-oh, maybe king, queen or something. But he checks, other dude bets. He calls. River is a 9, so he makes full house, like 10's full. And he checks, and the other guy goes all in. And he snap calls, and he's like, yes! before I see the hands. And I'm sitting there watching the stream with my friend. I'm like, you don't celebrate here until you actually win. Like, yeah, you've got tens full, and the other guy had jacks full, so turned jacks, turned the highest set, and I could see my friend. He was celebrating before he saw the hand. I was like, you can't do that. You cannot do that. You cannot celebrate unless you have the absolute stone cold coconut. And he was just silent for minutes. He's like, I can't believe that. I can't believe that. I'm like, oh, I can. I see that's been there.
Oh man, but it actually sounds kind of, I'm sorry to your friend, but it sounds pretty funny. Like I can just imagine
Yeah.
like he's so happy and just like dead silence after.
Yeah, flop top set 10-9-8, turn jack, river 9. Ah, that's brutal.
Ooh.
Artur is just going for it here with king 10 of spades. What a power move. Oil Trader has the ace of spades and mid pair. Wow, Nanonoko.
It's annoying. He bet half the pot. Can he really make this call just mid pair? There was also a third player in the spot, so Archer's jam is even should look a little bit stronger. You're holding the ace of spades. It's not a good card to hold because you want to pick off those ace and 9 of spades, right? If you're holding ace of spades, they can't have that flush draw anymore.
This is actually quite
Archer
close.
jams
Even if
so
Oil Trader
fast.
makes, even if Oil Trader makes the quote unquote correct call, like he's not that far ahead, is he?
No, he might not even be ahead. Well, with the ace of spades, he probably is. But if he didn't have the ace of
Barely.
spades, probably wouldn't be. Yeah.
It's probably like a 57, 43 or something at best. Artur, every king, every 10, every spade. It's a hard call. And even if you make the call, you could be out. Oil Trader lets it go. I don't hate that one.
Yeah. Archer shipped it so fast on the flop. I'm not. It was like 0.1 second. Like I wonder if Overthrow was trying to read into it, but it just was like, live to fight another day. And now we've got blind versus blind, open ended versus little pair. Some spicy turns and rivers could really end things.
Taking a look at the numbers. I'm interested.
What is
Wow.
this? He just open ripped blind versus blind 6 deuce on the king 6-5. Roddy, just here's 70K, but here's 1.1 million.
The wheels are coming up. Artur here in a position to win even more chips. It was a real 50-50, by the way. Ace 8, like slightly ahead. 50.5, but that was it. So incredibly close. A little excessive here, Artur. 30 big blinds.
I think he's just trying to close it out. He's like, by jamming, you prevent your opponent from doing something so that maybe he's trying to he wants Oil Trader to bust first before he clashes some more. People have different ways of looking at how to play the hand.
Artur does have more chips now than what he started the night with. It took him a long time to get there, Nanonoko, but when there are 4 players left, Artur finally has more chips than what he started the night with. Threes flop a set a whole lot at the high roller Super Millions. We have noticed that over the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, I would love to see 5s flop a set. That's never happening.
Technically, it is happening. People are just not playing the 5s.
Here we go. Top pair. Nice. I haven't seen anyone play so many ace rags in my life.
And Ninor was aware of it. Ace 4. Ace 3, no good, mate.
Show the ace. Alrighty. King,
Ooh,
Jack,
King,
and
Jack, and
tens. Look, Oil Trader's just going to rip it, right? Because he did this with A7 suited earlier for more chips. He's got less chips now.
I think we're racing. King Jack versus tens. Artur Martirosian does not strike me as the brave Russian Bratan to fold tens here. So this is it. Can the tens hold? Marius Gierse wishes him good luck. Ooh, what a flop. Jack of spades. The tens are still good, but any king, any jack, any spade for Oil Trader. Wow, tens hold. Unreal. Nice. What a hold for Artur Martirosian as he chips up to 3.5 million chips. Good job to Oil Trader today as well. That man came in 9th place. It's pocket 4s, but the 4 is out. Oil Trader came in as the shortest stack tonight, man, and he has a top 4 finish in the end. I think that's something you can be very proud of.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, I guess in the end he did go out anyways. Oh, you could have flopped something. You got to see a
Ooh, yeah,
flop against Queen 4? My God, you lucky free roller.
It was so close. A lot of tiny cards too. Yeah, no, I think Oil Trader had a solid run there, and even at the end, right, that's pretty close to a flip as well.
We got to find out what's happening on the poll. I'm just curious, Roddy. Are you winning? Am I winning yet, or are we? Check it out.
I'll take a look at it. You tell me what's happening. I'll take a look at who's winning our poll over at GGPoker's YouTube channel. There's a community tab, and you guys can vote. I don't know what we're voting for, but you guys can vote.
Well, Andres gonna go for a little C bet, but Mary's got top pair. And we're really. Is this just the second hour, or is this third hour? Second hour, right?
This is second hour. We are about to enter our second break. I'm still winning 55-45, and we did have like an additional 100 votes coming in, but there's also a chance there are still some people voting from my Discord. So
You got me. Well, hey, you don't need me no more, Roddy. I might as well just leave with my pocket fives that never makes a set. At least I pick final table winners.
well, mate, I actually have a shot tonight. I'm still in the running. You're not. 2 out of the 3 guys I've got money on. Tonight, I'll actually be very, very, very tilted if Marius Giese wins it. I'm sorry, Marius. I've got nothing against you. We are going to enter our second break, but that would be a sick bad beat for me. Anyway, guys, that was it for our second hour. A couple of very wild hands. We're going to take 4 minutes and a couple of seconds for ourselves. And after that, we'll be back. Obviously, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done that yet. Why don't you use these 4 minutes to vote for your favorite poker commentator? And you guys are all allowed to vote for Nanonoko, because I know that he brings the wisdom. We'll see you guys in 4 minutes.
All right, it's the 10K Super Millions bracelet event number 12, a $5 million guarantee on Sunday, Brent, on Sunday, on your birthday. And this tournament plays down until the final table. The final tables resume on Tuesday, of course, streamed on ggpoker.tv. That all sound good to you, birthday boy?
Fantastic. I'm headed to Mexico. I know exactly how I'm going to celebrate, Jeff.
With the Negreanu's in Mexico, firing the 10K Super Millions.
Hello everybody, Daniel Negreanu here with some good news from the GG Poker Network. We've been preparing a promotion for the new year called GG Care. As any poker player might know, sometimes you find yourself in what we call unfortunate situations, you know, some ugly bad beats, right? Well, that's where GG Care comes in. GG Care will take care of you with huge prize pools available every day. Let's see how you can get your GG Care benefits. Aces versus kings. Yep, all in before the flop. I mean, nobody's going to fold that, right? That's just a setup. It's a cooler. I can't imagine being, you know, at the final table of the World Series of Poker heads up and this happening to me. It's just brutal. Bad beats should never be a thing, but they are. Thanks, GG. I flopped the top set. Very nice. Some fucking idiot chases a runner straight to suck out on me. Unbelievable. But in my darkest moment, GG Care was there. Thanks, GG. Flop the second nut set, the middle set on the flop. It's an impossible cooler. How can you be beat there? The guy has top set. Nobody's folding that. Sometimes it just feels unfair. Thanks, GG. As you can see, in the most unfortunate of situations, GG Care will appear for you. Are you curious how to get these benefits? Don't worry, you don't even have to lift a finger. First, simply enjoy the game as usual. Whenever something unfortunate happens, GG Care will be there. Secondly, when confronted with such circumstances, GG Care automatically will register you into a flip-out tournament with a huge prize. Just check the pop-up window. Thirdly, take a rest, have yourself a nap, get yourself a good night's sleep, clear your mind of all the bad beats, and when you wake up, the daily GG Care prizes will be waiting for you. That's all there is to GG Care. Pretty simple, isn't it? Just play the game as normal and GG Care will take care of you. And the prize money will only grow more and more in the future, so keep your eyes posted and good luck everybody. I hope you don't have too many bad beats, but if you do, GG Care will be there. Thanks, GG.
Elkie was waiting to come back to the final table.
Fedor holds things. Oh my god.
Michael Adamo is the best.
Welcome back to hour 3 of week 7, season 2, High Roller Super Millions, where, you might flop a set, Nanonoko. As Nanonoko's hand, we have a side bet. Which hand is going to make more sets, pocket 5s or pocket 4s? I'm leading 1-0 after 7 weeks. It's not the most exciting side bet, but... Ooh. Almost.
Uh-huh. On tilt right now, but we can still call. We can turn a 5. Come on, 5%.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good flop for 5s anyway, though, right? Jack, Jack 3. Wow,
no,
he raises.
Don't raise. I mean, like it's a good play, but I don't want to see a raise. I want to see a turn card.
Artur may not believe that Andres has anything here, but how crazy do we want to get with 8-9 offsuit? Oh!
Wow. Huh. He feels like Andres has been picking on players all day, right? Artur's picked up on it, but 5s? I don't know.
It's still a good flop for 5s. That's actually a really good card for Artur, though. Picks up the 8-high spade flush draw and also turns an open-ender. And with a 10, he also has the best hand, but... Oh.
Does miss. 5s are good.
Actually pretty insane to miss there. Any 7, any queen, any spade, any 8, any 9, any 10. Like, how did he miss?
Yeah. I don't mind his 3-bet on the flop, though. It did kind of look like Andres was punking. Wow, 3rd pot. This could work. If Andres Nemeth can call with pocket 5s here, it'd be insane.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Artur does take it down. What a sick hand. That is actually a sick hand. Artur up to 4 million chips. He's actually closing in on Andres Nemeth right now.
He's up swinging, man. Like ever since he got to 700K, he's playing phenomenal. Ever since he started to, he's like, it's when he gets down to 3-handed, this is when Artur's on his peak.
This is a scary hand, though.
Pair.
Artur flops top pair with a king kicker. Meanwhile, Andres Nemeth flops the king high diamond draw. Artur does hold the 9 of diamonds.
Artur's thinking about raising it up. We are playing very deep stack. Gonna raise.
Just call, right? We're just calling here.
Just call. See a turn card.
Oh.
See a turn card, and that is a hell of a turn card.
Yep.
The king 9 still looks pretty.
Oh. Artur goes for a pretty big bet there of 8 big blinds.
Yeah. I think with king 6 suited, we're still just going to call here. Let your opponent hang himself if he is on a bluff. We got a hammer lock on this hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I think raising here would be a bit silly, especially because the bet is already so big anyway. If you call here, oh wow.
Wow, I don't know. I don't like this. Don't like this. think of a hand this good though, like you should let your opponent get away.
Wow. Andres says, how do you like this? Artur says, not very much, and he lets it go. But I think that was maybe a way to win a few more chips there. Artur back to 3 million.
Artur gave him the good play. Hey, folded top pair.
I like how Marius is still sitting here as well. He's like, let them fight. Marius will take second place because at one point it wasn't looking all that good for the man who came in as chip leader, especially when he was forced to call off the extra 600k with ace queen. I don't think he was loving life, but afterwards it's gone all right.
Yeah, I don't think Marius. Yeah, he's like, go ahead. It doesn't matter. If you can guarantee me lock me up second place, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. The winner
We're
tonight
pretty
walks
deep,
away
though.
with 300. Yeah. Well, we haven't even reached your favorite blind level yet.
I was going to say, we're pretty deep in the sense that I don't think this will end anytime soon. Just like 40 big blinds for the shortest guy. One guy's got like 80. Like, no, this is a grind. Long haul.
Artur makes a pair of threes on the turn, and he will take it down, so he chips up back to 3.5. Ooh, oh, what? What is this setup? What?
I thought I said the long haul. This is all in territory right now for all of the chips.
All right, Marius Gierse goes for the trap. He just limps. He gets what he wants, and that is the race. But what he doesn't know is that he will be racing for all the chips soon. And that is probably a little scarier than what he imagined.
Yeah, nah, he's expecting just to take it down a lot or get it in real good.
Wow.
This guy just playing so fast. Snap call.
Yep. Ace King versus Queens. There's the ace. Can Andres hold? Oh my goodness, now he needs to avoid the kings. Marius Gierse goes from 2 outs to 3 outs. It is paint, but it's not the right paint. And that means Marius Gierse, the man who came in as chip leader tonight, or came in as chip leader, goes out in 3rd place. And we are down to heads up. I see pocket 10s. What else? King 9. Artur Martirosian versus Andres Nemeth. What a night this has been. Wow. No, that was a lot of chippies.
Fast. I was thinking this was going to take an hour or so, quite some time, but now we're down to heads up with a massive chip lead. Andres Nemeth came in 8th place, has been steamrolling the final table, playing amazing so far, and now they both hit a flush.
And he pips Artur here, the 10 high flush, better than the 9 high flush. I mean, pretty good run by Artur regardless as well, because at one point things were looking really dire for Artur too. He came into the final table in 3rd. Snap call there with the 10 high flush. And Artur will receive the bad news that it's slightly better than his 9 high flush.
Yeah. Artur at 700k when we're on 5-handed, right?
Set.
So like this is
Set.
feeling pretty good.
Set.
No.
Set.
Just jam.
Set.
3-bet jam. 3-bet jam.
No.
Yes.
Oh. Why would you jam a set pre-flop, mate? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, no.
Wow. So, I was going to say Artur still has a solid amount of chips, but now he's dwindling fast. Every hand he's losing chips.
Yep. He is ahead here, but he's going to lose against a lot of river cards. That is not one of them. His deuce is still good, but it's a very, very, very tiny pot. Wow. That went so quick, mate. Oh, poor Marius. Ooh, kings. Again,
This guy's
not the
got
first time
kings and
tonight.
aces so many times.
Yeah. It's so funny how that hand went. It's like the limp trap into like, please raise. Okay, he raises. It's like, all right, now I'll 3-bet. And it's like, oh, all
there's
in?
like-
Well, I've got queens.
There was like no stalling that hand. It was like the fastest played hand after, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. It was like when two guys started pushing each other, and then one guy just swung. It's like, oh, we're doing this. Like, I thought we were just pushing, you know? I thought it was a little bit of poker, like you raise, I raise. It's like, oh, it's happening. It's going down. Well, it went down, and it was all over with that ace on the flop.
Out pipped, but this is a terrible run out for both players. Jack 3 is still good.
I feel like we often see this in heads up, where one player just keeps out pipping the other dude. Oh. It's actually kind of sad
I
for
would've showed
Artur.
both
Would love to
cards.
play. Ace deuce and 9-7.
Well, on the good note, Roddy, you're guaranteed to win a final table bet. I guess do you have any idea which one would win you more if you were to guess?
Actually, like before I made that second bet, I'm pretty sure, like Artur was my big bet tonight, right? Because I could put 150 bucks on him. But since I bet twice on Dvoress, and I actually think my second bet on him was 75 bucks. 75
What?
times 13 plus, yeah. I think it's
That's
good
a good
regardless.
day.
I'm a winner tonight. Yeah, but I went a bit bigger because I was running so bad. I was like, tonight, I don't care what happens. I am picking a winner tonight, and I know I will. So. Yeah. I'm going to assume that my win for Dvoress Nemeth is bigger, as long as I am correct about the fact that I did bet on him twice. Otherwise, it's much better if R2 wins. But I'm happy anyway, Nanonoko. I get to spend the Tuesday with you. We watch some high-level poker together. We talk about stupid stuff. I feel like we win every Tuesday. Just some Tuesdays we win a bit more than others.
Yeah, true. It's another good week so far, but maybe Artur can he can make the comeback. Usually in our heads up, they swing one way.
Yeah.
Queen 6 offsuit.
Wow. Wow.
Garbage.
Power play.
Got it done. Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I feel like we're going to see a big pot here.
Yeah. Well, nothing. Just nothing. Playing fast. Quick check. Wow.
I don't think I'm folding here with ace-5 of diamonds, though.
Nah, just because of the back doors. You telling me ace-5 is going to win some still?
Mm-hmm. Unless Artur decides to bet, but Artur gives up. King high is no good. Ace high is better. 12 million to less than 2 million.
How do you keep downswinging with the stack? You think you would get at least one chance for a double?
You know what would also be cool? Is that if Artur wins, he'd be the second guy to win a high roller Super Millions in Season 1 and Season 2, just 1 week after our good friend Michael Adamo managed to do it last week.
True. Well, if Andrus Nemeth wins, it'd be his first win for first final table. Okay, let's see. Definitely going to see a flop somewhere. Unless Artur goes crazy with all in. Never mind. Does. That's a pretty big all in for this type of hand.
Yeah.
Don't love it.
I mean, like, I guess if Artur raises, he does look incredibly strong, but you'd like to win a little more than one big blind with ace king in heads up. Wow, nice flop, Dvoress.
Exactly. Snap,
Wow.
check, raise.
Okay.
Do these guys playing like they have no time bank? They're playing so fast.
Mm-hmm. I think Dvoress at this point he's just looking at Artur's stack and he's like, let's get it over with, mate. Like, I'm gonna win this and you've got nothing to say about it. It's like, I've got some other things to do, and don't you have a speed racer to play or something like that?
That's exactly what I'm thinking too. Like, Andrew seems like he's got somewhere to be all of a sudden when it's like the biggest page up right now.
Well, maybe there's a good cash game going on. Maybe the VIP tables are filling up tonight. So he just wants to hop into the mix.
Maybe.
Oh,
You might be right.
Artur went from almost 40 big blinds to 12, and it feels like not a whole lot has happened. And Dvoress flops trip deuces. Oh, this is it. This is over. Oh, yeah, Artur flops top pair with a jack kicker. He's going to go all in. And well,
Were we just min racing now?
yeah.
Calls. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
That's it, guys. Unless Artur Martirosian finds an 8 on the river, it is all over. Can he find a magical 8? The luck of the Chinese? Nope. That is not an 8. And that means that we have another Hungarian champion. This time it's Andres Nemeth, the cash game crusher turned MTT crusher, came into this final table 8th. 8th in chips. He only had 960,000 chips when he entered tonight. But the man was unstoppable, Nanonoko. He was flying.
Yeah, once he got that, he got dealt aces and kings a lot early. Didn't even win many chips, but finally eliminated Daniel Dvoress to get that extra 600k boost. After that, he never looked back. He outplayed everyone. He was 3-betting him garbage. He was outplaying him post-flop. Steamrolled the final table. Played amazing. I was telling you, man, you're going to be impressed with this guy. I said that to you during the pre-show. I think you're impressed or what?
I am very impressed, but I actually knew him. He's not someone that I'm unfamiliar with. I've seen him in some of the tournaments that I've played, and I've actually seen him sometimes at the Omaha tables as well. Unless I'm confusing him with someone else, but I'm like 99.9% sure that is Andres Nemeth. So I've played a fair bit of hands with him. I did make a mistake by betting on him twice. Thank you, Nanonoko, for selecting Andres Nemeth as pick of the week. Everyone that followed Nano's advice, even though he didn't pick him as the winner tonight, he did give some of you guys some solid advice that he's the man to bet on. 13.5 to 1, I believe, is what we got. All I know right now, Nanonoko, is that I have $1,200 more in my account than I had before the show started. So thank you, mate. That was solid. I made a boo-boo. I bet on him twice, but hey, it worked out. A little bit of luck on my side. The Omaha guys will be grateful, you know. They can now start taking my big blinds again at 1, 2, 2, 5, whatever.
Well, Roddy, it goes to show, if you got extra rake back in your account, do some final table betting. It'll turn into more.
Mm-hmm. This was a fun final table, man. I honestly don't think it has ever happened before that after 1 hour of play, just 1 hour, the guys that were 8th and 9th were 1st and 3rd, and at one point even 1st and 2nd. That is bizarre. Like, that just doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't happen, but you know, Andres Nemeth, well-deserved to the top. Oil Trader, you know, he kind of played one hand and didn't play another hand until the end. He just went all in crazy with some big amount of chips. Yeah. But Marius Garcia, he was the chip leader. Didn't hold on to it too long, but eventually still got a top 3 finish, which I think is kind of a sigh of relief for him. So well done to him too. But it's been a great final table. I loved it a lot. And episode 8 coming soon.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk a little bit about Marius Garcia. Obviously, there is absolutely nothing he can do the way he went out, right? Queens against ace king, small blind, big blind, three-handed. I mean, yeah, the chips are going to go in. He got unlucky there. Did get a bit lucky earlier when he won with ace queen, the 3-way all-in against jack 10 and pocket jacks, even though he gets it in decent there, but that was a big one for him. Artur had an interesting night, right? Because in a weird way, Artur made like an uncharacteristic misstep once or twice, but they were very tough spots, to be fair. But he did let go of the best hand. Then he did have that sick call with the king 6 on the river when the ace rolled off against Thomas Muehloecker. So that was fun. Artur still showing us that he still got it. And I think he's more than happy with second place.
Yeah, Artur was kind of like all over the place, right? Because like in the beginning, he was kings involved a little bit. Then he kind of played quite tight for a while, down to 700k. He made a good call, and after that, he started to make some good plays. And you know, even that 9-8 offsuit bluff against Andres Nemeth's pocket 5s on the Jack Deuce, that was a sexy bluff there. I really like that one. You know, and heads up though, you just can't beat a guy who's steamrolling the whole final table. Like, you just end it quickly, and they played quickly. They're like, yeah, I can't win this match. I'm out. He even knew he was dead on the final hand. We had Jack 8 on the 8 deuce deuce. He actually put the goodbye emoji. Just left.
Yeah, especially with the way that they were
Roddy,
playing, where it was
Roddy.
like, yeah.
One more thing. Don't you remember? Everything would be different had Artur not disconnect and played his ace king.
Oh. Yeah, that's a pure pain moment. Then again, he could have just lost it because it was ace king against pocket eights. One king was folded, but yeah, that was a very, very painful moment. If Artur, with the amount he plays, if he plays on Wi-Fi, I'm actually done with poker. Okay, Nanonoko, then you guys are unsavable. But I have a hard time believing that with how much he plays. So I guess that was just really, really unlucky timing. I think overall was fun, man. I've really been enjoying all of our final tables in Season 2. Tonight, just very unpredictable. Like, who could have said that the guy who comes in 8th place doesn't just win it, but basically steamrolls it from the moment he knocks out Daniel Dvoress? Unstoppable.
Yeah, he never lost it. Whereas usually we see Michael Adamo steamrolling, but then there's a part when you think he might just blow up and lose it all, right? Or he does lose some chips, or sometimes he does actually lose it. But no, this was actually a pure steamroll. Great final table. I love to see that he made one of our final tables and won it on his first try. He'll be back. He played all Super Millions first season, didn't do well. Told you, this is Season 2's of the year.
I think a very solid start to his second year of the High Roller Super Millions. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you do, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just type in GGPoker in the YouTube bar and you'll find us there. And right now, if you go to our YouTube channel and you click on the community tab, you can actually vote between Nanonoko and myself. I don't know why this vote is up and running, but if you guys want to vote on something, you can go ahead and vote there. And I think that's going to do it for us. Obviously, there's still a lot of WSOP stuff happening over at GGPoker. Just take a look at the client. There are satellites running all day, every day if the events are a bit above your buy-ins too. And I think that's going to do it for us, Nanonoko, unless you have any final words, anything important you want to get off your chest?
Nothing. I'm just excited again next week. And don't forget, I'm still on the leaderboard on our final table winner picking thing.
I know, but Pocket 4 is still beating Pocket 5, so that kind of equals each other out. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we hope to see you again next week. Same time, same place. See you then.
Elkie was waiting to come back to the final table.
Fedor holds things. Oh my God.
Michael Adamo is the best.